And good evening, everyone. I'm Blaine Singletary, and this is the ARML Thursday night. I'm joined tonight by Jeremy, also known as Ichiban. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great tonight, Blaine. Thanks for asking. I'm looking forward to seeing some great mahjong games today.
Absolutely, and we've got quite a card for you tonight. We're kicking off more players into the B2 league. It's a B2 division, rather. And I was one of the first, actually, to start the whole division off last night. And the less we talk about that, the better. But we also have matches from the A1 division we'll be joining later on tonight as well. So we're seeing queuing up now. Should be starting in just about a few seconds here. Edwin D, Jason T, Ryan J, and Sam all getting ready to start their rounds here in the B2 for this summer season in the ARML. What kind of
I'm
a match
looking.
are you? Sorry, go on.
Oh, my apologies. I was just going to comment that the thing that stands out the most for me is, well, the stats are from last season, but Ryan's J's call rate is nuts, almost 54%.
Wow. Yeah, that's by far the lead there. We'll see how that translates into this matchup that's starting right now with Lara, also known as Sam, starting us off. And taking a look at the hands here, we see a pair of Easts, a pair of Nines, a few sequences just waiting to get finished in, a pair of Fours now picking up here. Taking a look to our right, see a good presence of the Pinzu at this point, some Sozu as well. A little bit of work needs to be done there. And across, similar story, but we got an Ipeco just about finished there with the 4, 5, and 6 of pin, as well as a sequence of the 1, 2, 3. That hand is very close, in fact. And taking a look at the left, we have a few pairs as well. Also an Ipeco getting ready to finish off as well.
Yeah, it looks like Ryan's going to uh, lock in Tanya. He's cutting the non-pair early. I was thinking that yeah, now he's calling.
Hmm.
I was thinking that he could probably go for a Pinfu or maybe a Richinomi kind of hand, but he's already got Dora, so he's just going for it. Oh,
And also going for it is the player across, Edwin. He's looking for a 1 or a 4 already in Tenpai here. And he has
let's
one
see.
of the.
There's. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say there's. Yeah, he has one of the ones, like what you were gonna say. There's two
Mhm.
of the fours and the player to the left. So there's five left in the wall.
It's a pretty confident reach. He can hold out for that 1 to get Ipeco, which has just been picked up. But press X there. Jason is going to hang on to it. Probably a good call there. Can fit in that. Looks like he's going for Chitoi, perhaps? Maybe not. There's a few things that hand could be. Yep, and there's a call of the Hatsu.
I feel like that one man's gonna come in once he hits Tempai.
Hmm. Picking up the 4 now is Lyra, also known as Sam. So we have more of the tiles out of the wall now. We're going to see if those stay in. They're rather the outliers in this point. But we have Tenpai now for Sam, waiting on the 3 Mon. Really, that whole suit's getting pretty scary. I don't blame these people for hanging on to those, even though we do see a lot of them discarded.
There's only one three mon left, but if someone else draws it, maybe it might come out since it's Gambutsu to the dealer's not the dealer to Edwin's Ricci.
And take a look over on Sashimi's hand, calling the 1, 2, 3 of Sozu. Possibly looking to turn this into a Itsu of some sort.
Yeah, that seems to be the case.
Yeah, all you need is an 8, and that's a full straight, but there's the 4. Edwin's going to go ahead and call that for Ricci, Pinfu, and no Uras at this point, but that'll be a cool 3,000 points to start off this game. And we're moving now into East 2. Press X. Jason is starting us off. The Dora is West. And right now in this hand, we have a completed sequence already and a few pairs to go with it. Taking a look at Edwin's hand, good presence of the Pinzu at this point. Also a sequence of Sozu as well. In fact, actually a sequence in the Pinzu as well. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. He's got some good progress right out the gate. Across, we see a few pairs already. Looks like he might be catering to those. And over on Lyra's hand on the left, we have a good some sequences trying to get started here. We do see one already set. Some good progress already. It's going to be pretty quick, I'd imagine, depending on how these tiles fall.
Right. I think Sam's might be the slowest hand right now, but just a few good draws and a few good calls, and they could catch up.
Like that pair of the 7 mon there. That's 5 pairs now. Ishanten for Chitoi. Hmm. They're still kind of testing the waters here before we really get into some serious hands.
Mm. Unfortunately, he drew the 8 mon and then drew the 9 mon again, but that's Richie Mahjong for you.
Yep, the wall giveth and the wall taketh, for sure.
That's a great 5 mon draw for Edwin. He's now Ishanten.
Actually, I believe he's Tenpai now for the 5 pin.
I guess he's waiting for a better weight at
Yeah,
this
not
point. He
calling
could,
Ricci, but... And I don't think he could actually... he couldn't win on this, because I don't think there's a Yaku there just yet.
yeah. So it's a Dama hand that can't
Well,
go out.
oh, well, it would be actually... It would be Pinfu. It would be
No,
Pinfu.
no,
Wouldn't?
it's not connected.
Oh.
Pinfu has to be a two-sided weight.
Oh, you're right, you're right. Of course. I always forget those stipulations. Either way, the remaining 5 pin are a pair over in Sam's hand at the moment, so I doubt we see those coming out. Those could become a good sequence, and there's a weight change from Edwin, dropping the 4. Actually, that'll drop him out of Tenpai, I believe. Oh, no, but he's waiting on the 9 now. Oh, never mind.
No,
Forget
yeah,
that.
he's no longer in Tempai, but he has a really wide Ishanten.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's just kind of maneuver this to try to get a better weight, one that can get him some more points to really cement this lead in the early goings.
Chi.
She called by Sam. Seem to be going for a Tanyao at this moment.
Yeah, it's getting late in the hand. They're trying to force something
Eat.
together, which is understandable.
But one who doesn't need a force right now is the Sashimi,
Chi.
there, also known as Ryan. We'll be looking for the 4 or the 7 of Mon. We see those lit up in the dealer's hand right now, and one more over in Edwin's hand at the moment. The other 2 have been discarded as well, so not a lot to go around here, unfortunately.
Yeah, if Jason doesn't discard the 4 or 7 mon, it's just one left in the wall. Oh, and the Edwin has one as well. But it looks like
Dong.
Sam.
Looks like
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Sam jumps into Tenpai right at the minute for a Chitoi Tanyao, worth 4,800 points plus the Ricci stick, giving her quite the lead of 58. Or him, I should say. Excuse me. But East 2 continues, and the Dora is the 9 pin. We already see some sequences forming up in the dealer's hand at the moment. 2, 3, 4 could be Sanshoku. A very good chance at that, in fact. Taking a look at Edwin's hand, we see a pair of the Chun right at the moment. A few sequences forming up as well. Across, we see good presence of the Pinzu right now. Sequences waiting to get finished off, but got a lot of work to do there in Jason's hand. And over on Sam's side of things, we see a few sequences already set. Well, rather just one, but there's also a pair and some others that are close to being set. We'll see how that boils out.
Chi.
Already two calls from Edwin calling the Chun and the 5, 6, 7 of Sozu. Looks like he's willing to push those Chuns right home for a quick, easy win to push the dealership along and get a good shot at first moving forward.
Right. There's two 7-pin left in the wall. Here it's June Dora at the moment. So pretty good, but it might be a little hard for him to put together that 7, 8, 9 Pinzu. Oh, he's giving up on it.
Interesting. And I believe that would be a chi call from Sashimi. That's why we're paused there, but probably not worth it picking that up since you have one already.
hmm It looks like Edwin's now going for a Honitsu, and oh well, he is just
Or,
rewarded by the wall.
all right, getting some Hatsu in there.
Yeah,
Greens
cutting
to
the
go with your
Dora.
reds. Yeah. No Dora, but half flush would be pretty nice here. See, and
Meanwhile,
meanwhile,
oh,
go
I was
ahead.
going to say, sorry, I was just going to say, Jason's getting pretty close. He's to Tenpai as well.
Yes, I was looking at that. Got a Pinfu potentially, and a Ipeco potentially as well.
He can also have a potential Sanchoku if he draws the
That's right.
Formon.
Yeah, still no sign of that Formon that we noticed from before, but that eat that. Sorry, I'm losing my words tonight. But
Each.
the that triple sequence there, I'm saying the English name. Looks like
Mm.
he's going to give up on that though. Looking for just the 6mon. Only one left though that we all can see, including him.
Each.
Oh,
So that's going to be a tough wait. We're going to see if he gets it out of the wall here.
Chi.
Meanwhile, Ricci also called by Ryan. He is looking for the 4. So
they're both really bad weights.
closed weights are difficult, especially when, well, from his point of view,
Gee.
he can't see that two of them are already accounted for on the wall. We're also Tenpai, though, with Edwin, 6 So, and the Hatsu looking for now. One of those has already been discarded, but the 6s, well, except for one in one of the called sets there, and also one waiting in Lyra's hand across from him.
He opted to go for the more expensive out. He gone for a 5, 8 Sozu weight, but he's now still waiting on the Hatsu and 6, which is a worse weight, but would bring the hand up to a Mongon.
Yes, especially if you pick up that Hatsu, well, that may not
Right.
change the Mongon exactly.
Yeah, it will actually be a Mongon if it's a Hatsu, so it has to be Hatsu.
Yeah.
And if
Yes.
anyone draws it, I was just gonna say, if anyone draws the Hatsu, they'll probably cut it and then deal in.
Yeah, there is one sitting out there on the board, so it looks generally safe. I would advise against doing that, though.
Is he going? Do you think he's going con? Oh, he did.
He is going con for that replacement tile. It's not what he's looking for, but that'll give him 1,000 points at the exhaustive draw here. And we'll repeat East 2 with Ryan and Jason also being in Tenpai at the end there. Good start for the dealer here. See a good presence of the Manzu, some rather odd combinations of the other two suits you could cut if you wanted to. We'll see what he does with those. Edwin now has some work to do with this hand. Have some neighbors next to each other, but it's going to take a little bit of fun, a little bit of work, rather. It could be fun work, though, to get that set up. See some sequences across as well. And over to the left, we see a few almost sequences there, and a pair as well. Jason calling the Haku while I was describing the hands. Taking that hand a step closer. He's not got a whole lot more to do here. Just getting the 3 So. Would send this to Tenpai, I believe.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Hakunomi at this rate, which is fine. Just look at what's in the center: two Ricci sticks,
Yeah.
2 Humba sticks. We'll take those any day.
And you're dealer, so it means you get to keep going. Got the lead. You don't need the points right now, so you might as well go for the quick kill. Though if he really
Mean
wanted to spike this thing, he could go for Toy Toy, but I don't see him trying that right now.
Yeah, that's probably a bit too far from for him for right now. But meanwhile, Sam has drawn 2 of the tune, which is a Dora. So I guess he's hoping he can make it that as pair, or
Home.
someone else will drop the last tune.
Oh, but here's a call for the triplet by Press X. 3 Mon now. He's 10 pi for the 3 so. You could easily shift that to a Toy Toy wait if the opportunity presents itself. Very interesting how that's developed.
Hmm, very so. Oh, he drew it. So he drew the last tune. He's cutting
Very
that 4
nice.
mon. Oh, he's not cutting the 4.
Home.
He's going for the Sanchoku.
Oh,
Okay.
but little does he know, well, actually, he should know now, his turns are numbered as Jason picks up a 10 pi, a visual 10 pi, waiting
Eats.
on just the pair now. It's 2 so at the moment. But also Ricci called by Jason. Sorry, Ryan. He's waiting on the 5 so and 6 so.
Oh my God, Jason just changed to a Hellweight.
Yeah, that's crazy. A lot.
Oh, oh, I guess the pay would have been a Hellweight as well. But wow.
Hellweight City tonight on the ARML. And Jason right now swapping that pair weight around, possibly trying to see which one will have a better chance to deal in, but
Oh, if he had stuck with the
oh,
2, so he would have won there. That's unfortunate.
hmm. That's always the chance you take when swapping your last tile weight around like that.
Yeah, lots of backfires, unfortunately, for Jason. If he had stuck with a 9 mon, he would have won. If he stuck with a 2, so he would have won. Oh,
Oh, this could be interesting.
Film.
And he shoots it out. Roan is called. Ricci know me, but that's a lot of points with everything that's in the pot right now. 4,900. That's going to put him to a pretty safe third place right now. As we head into East 3. Everyone on Hell waits, and it's just a matter of who gets it first. I was about to say that Jason had pretty much his dealership guaranteed for the next one since we were down just 3 tiles left, but then that happened.
yeah, you can't ever let your guard down and reach Imajo.
Absolutely.
T.
Moving on to East 3 now. Edwin is dealer. The Dora is north. We see some sequences. He's already called one of them. In fact, 2, 3, 4 could go for Sanshoku, but you don't really see that in the Sozu right now. Taking a
T.
look at Ryan's hand at the moment. Picking up some Manzu there. Seems to be building something out of those. We'll see. He's got some honors just kind of sitting at the end there. Not sure what'll happen with those. Up across, we have some good sequences in the Pinzu at the moment. Some good almost sequences in the Sozu as well. Developing quite nicely there. And over on Jason's side, we see an Anko of the 8s. Also, some pairs and some almost sequences forming up there. Everyone's got a little bit of work to do, but Edwin's been really taking this one quick. Looks like he's going for Tanyao now.
He's maybe hoping to draw a better weight, but if the 6 mon comes out, he'll probably take it so he can continue his dealership.
Absolutely. We only see one of them out right now on the wall, still pretty early. Yeah, right. I agree with Joshi. I didn't even notice, but he's already in 10 pi. Edwin waiting on the 6 mon, and 3 of them still on the wall. I believe that 6 is pretty secure in Jason's hand at the moment, though, so I don't see that coming out.
For sure.
Oh, he's dropping it. He's going to go for the 7. No, he's dropping out of 10 pi. Gonna look for a better weight here. Can't rely on hell weights the whole game, I suppose.
Home.
Yeah, I guess he's hoping to draw the 5 pin and then make it a three-sided weight. Well, and then one of them will be furry Chan, unfortunately. Well, he couldn't win off the 1 pin, but I don't know. I think he should have just kept with the weight. Just hope for the wall to give it for someone to
Home.
have no use for the
Mhm.
6 1.
Let's take a look at Ryan's hand, calling that 8 so at the moment. 8 and the Hatsu. Two triplets called. Got some pairs, could turn that into Toy Toy, but at this point you can turn that into anything with the presence of that green dragon. Hmm. He's got a little work,
Home.
got a decision to make with how to finish this hand off. Meanwhile, Jason calling the 6 Mon. He's looking pretty well poised for the Toy Toy, perhaps.
Yeah, looks like he's going for Toy Toy. Meanwhile, Edwin switched to waiting just on the 7 pin.
Going back to a closed weight. Maybe one that, well, there's one of those already out on the field. So he's maybe hoping people will see that and be a
Hung.
little bit more eager to give it up, perhaps. But meanwhile, we got Tenpai over on the left with the
Yeet.
4-pin 2 so, double pair weight, and also Ricci across. Sam's looking for the 4 and the 7-pin. Oh,
Ryan
wait,
had
no, sorry.
Dum.
So, I messed up there, but he's dropping the 7-pin. What I said he was waiting on, that was not right. I messed that up, but
no
very quick
worries, but
conclusion.
I was just gonna point out that Ryan actually declared Khan and gave Jason to Dora, but it didn't matter in the end since Edwin won off that 7 pin.
Hmm. Crazy happenings here in the ARML tonight. East 3 repeats with the first Honba down now. The Dora is 7 so. We don't see that in the dealer's hand right now, but definitely the opportunity to pick some up for some extra points. A lot of pairs, a lot of close. You could also make them sequences as well. A lot of close tiles right now, and that can definitely turn to something big if you keep drawing close to those tiles. Picking up a pair of the Hatsu as well. That's also a nice draw. Sashimi, meanwhile, has 4 pairs rather, to start with. And looking pretty poised to go for Cheetoy, perhaps, but
Home.
there's a lot of other things you can do with that. In fact, forget Cheetoy,
Home.
there goes the Souths. And there go the 7-pin now. Better get to the rest of these hands quick. Looking across, we see some sequences forming up, got some work to do. Lyra is probably feeling the heat at this moment and wants to start picking up some speed. Same story with Pressex, though he's got a sequence already locked in and a pair as well.
Yeah, it looks like Ryan is going for the quick non for his Yaku because he already has 2 Dora. So
Gee.
you know he's got some work to do, but he's steadily progressing. Uh,
It would be worth a good
Meanwhile,
amount of points if he pulls that off.
hmm
It's a quick hand, but with those 2 Dora, that's gonna give you some heft.
he might even start dreaming
Home.
about Honitsu at this point.
Oh, he's got 3 Dora. No, not sorry. That's wrong. It's 8. It's 7. I just said that.
hmm Well, he could go.
He could get that now if it's dropped. No, he's not gonna drop the
He,
Dora. Okay.
Home.
okay, I was gonna say he might go for Toy Toy, but it looks like he's going for the better out. So waiting on the
Hmm.
3s and 6 so.
3 and 6 so. We see, of course, the 6 is the Dora indicator.
Sumo.
A pair of the 6, but he draws the 3. And there we go. Jikaze Nan, the Seat Wind, and 2 Dora. A quick hand, but as I said, one with a lot of heft to it. As we move into East 4. Very close. Everyone's pretty close to the lead right now. Really only about 10 points apart. 15 in one case, but who's counting? Taking a look at the opening hands here. Our dealer tonight right now is Ryan. Dora is 7-pin, and we have a sequence of the 2, 3, 4. Some other sequences waiting to finish. See a pair and some almost sequences ready to form up in Lyra's hand as well, over to the right. Going across.
Yeet.
We already have Tenpai.
For
We are.
Itsu, waiting on the seventh so.
That's right.
And Adora. Oh man.
Itsu Dora. That can take the lead with how close everyone is right now. That would really put you ahead by a lot. So that's a time bomb waiting to go off right now. Edwin, meanwhile, he's got some sequences almost formed up.
1
Nothing complete yet. Oh, well, there's one. Speak of the devil, 567. Probably looking for a quick way out with that early reach just being called. It's always interesting to see how players react to an early reach. I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do for defense. Kind of just have to keep playing the hand normally, but you might start picking up the speed if you've got a quick route.
Right. And unfortunately it backfires for him just now. But well, he can maybe call on the sixth pin and go for Tanyo.
Tanya, definitely the easy possibility. Tanya
相撲
Dora 1, but there's the 7 so. Ricci, Menzen Sumo with the Itsu and 1 Dora. That's a Mangan with 9,000 points to Jason. Giving him a commanding lead now and sending a player, our dealer, below that 30k threshold, which is still a thing that everyone's got to be fighting for in this season, just as they did last time. We move on to South 1. Sam is dealer now and looking to dig out of a pretty deep 4th place. But with this hand, there's a possibility. 789 and a 6-7 with the Pinzu. You can make a lot out of that. You can also do some stuff with the Sozu as well, and you've got a pair of 3-mon to kick things out when you're ready. But look at the hand over on the right. We have a
Home.
lot of Manzu already set up, a sequence and a triplet of the 9s. Some good stuff happening there, especially with that 1-mon pickup. You could go for a flush, perhaps. We have
Gee.
Edwin calling the 1-pin early on. It's got some Ankos and looks pretty nicely set there for Toy Toy. And Sashimi, meanwhile, calling the sequence of the 789. Possibly looking for a Junchan. Oh, what they half Junchan, whatever it's called.
It'll be a whole new Chanta.
Chanta, thank you. Couldn't quite think of the word. But Southwest and the 2 reds. That can lead to some more points here, perhaps. So you're seeing these 2 calls as dealer. And you're looking at your hand and it's going okay, but it could really use a kick here. What are you thinking right now if you were the dealer in this situation?
I would really hope to maybe draw the Dora and try and make that, one, boost the value bit. But at this rate, I'll take even maybe a Richinomi, and if the weight's good enough to try to
Home.
keep my dealership. But oh my goodness,
Ooh. Speaking of the 3-mon and the Dora, there's one waiting off in Edwin's hand.
Home.
He's looking for that 3-mon right now, rather.
they're both Edwin and Ryan are waiting on the 3-mon now.
Oh, interesting. A double Roan situation, perhaps, but these 3-mons look pretty well set in the hand. If that comes out of the wall, though, well, for the other 2 players, if they draw it, then that's it. I think the 3 gets kept, though, if it's drawn by Lyra or Press X.
Oh no! Now Sam
Oh.
has to. I think he's trapped. He's going to deal in eventually.
Yeah, that's difficult now. Yikes, indeed. Waiting for that 2-mon Tonki. Wait, there's the 2-mon there. I think you hang on to that to pick up another pair and maybe try for Chitoy, perhaps. As these bombs are falling, it's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, I would recommend cutting the Sozu, maybe trying to draw around the Manzu or go for Cheetah.
Dum.
Oh,
But there's the 2. And there it is. Toy Toy. And the Seat Wind with 2 Dora. That's a Mongon, plain and simple. Edwin picks up 8,000 points, and we move to South 2. The Dora is
Home.
6 so. We're seeing some in the dealer's hand. Oh, sorry, we're not seeing it in the dealer's. Almost, though. You can very easily accept them. Actually, there's one is. And a little transition there. We see Press X picking one up there. Very nice. Could go for a flush of some sort. With that 5, I think otherwise. But take a look at Edwin's hand. Got an Anko of the 7 Mon and some pairs. Sequence and a pair, rather. 2 pairs as well. There's a lot of things that hand could turn into to
T.
a quick way out to keep this game moving along and shoot for the dealership again. We already got Tenpai, though, across, though. The West and 1, 2, 3 so called. Waiting on the 4 or the 7 pin to finish this out. We see
There's
an
only
Anko of
one-
this. Sorry, yes, go ahead.
I was just going to say there's only one 4 pin or 7 pin left in the wall. So it looks like
Right.
a great weight, but it's
Mm-hmm.
almost dead.
Little do you know, I mean, Lyra's got the Pinzu pretty much locked up here. Gonna probably go for an Itsu of some sort, and your weight is precisely locked in tight there. I don't see those coming out. Same story for the other 4 pin waiting in Edwin's hand. Let's see. Meanwhile, Press X picks up an Anko
Home.
of the East. Be a good way to shut this down as it gets scarier and scarier. Speaking of scary, Lyra goes into Tenpai now. I think there's quite a
It's a hell weight for the 2 pin.
2 pin, or the North could also finish that
And
off.
the North is dead.
Oh, that's right.
Ricci.
Yeah, I see that. Well, we got a Ricci called by Edwin. Now he's looking for the 9 and the 6 so. One of those, not and. The 6 so's are pretty well locked in that overlapping sequence you see in the dealer's hand at the moment. But the 4 so? Nowhere to be. Sorry, not the 4 so. It's the 9 so. There it is right there. Speak of the devil,
No.
and he drops it. Edwin picking up Ricci Nomi, but the Uradora picks up 2 of those for 6,200 points and the lead.
Yeah, that was really big for Edwin. He landed a direct hit on his competition. Now he's sitting pretty at first.
Yeah, above 40k. That's when you can kind of breathe a sigh of relief, especially with South 3 here. And look at this hand. I mean, you can breathe easy knowing that you've got some more points headed your way, most likely. Got an Ipeko ready to go almost, with an Anko of the 7 so and some Chun as well. That could turn into more points as well. That's almost not fair. Meanwhile, Sashimi has some sequences forming up and some pairs as well. Similar story up on Lyra's hand. But I should point out that Edwin is already in Tenpai waiting on the 2 Mon for Ipeko. Sorry, not Ipeko, it's open now. 2 Mon or the 5 Mon will finish this off in a very quick fashion. Only 4 discards getting into Tenpai here.
Incredible. This has been a very great game for Edwin.
Yeah, especially, he was really hoping to put on quite a show last season, in the E2 Beta League situation. This will give him a lot of confidence at the starting line here. I was facing him in the B2, B3 playoffs there, and he just pulled off a win. I did as well. Just enough to stay above and stay in B2, so we will be facing each other at some point
Yeet.
down the line. Meanwhile, Ricci called by Sashimi. Looking for the 7 so or the 4 so.
If
You
they
see
draw
those-
the 7
Home.
Oh, my apologies. I was just going to say if they draw the 7 so somehow, it's Sanchoku, but it seems locked up in everyone's hands.
Yeah, and speaking of, we have another Tenpai, 4 Mon, 8 so. The pairs there. Kind of scary when you see an all-orange hand there. And it's the enigmatic hand in a way. You can either complete or finish your own hand there. Everyone is
No.
going ham, I agree. And there's the 8 so. Dealer picking up Toy Toy and the Chun for a good amount of points there. Edwin cementing that lead, going above 50,000 now. And starting off this repeat in South 3 in a very good position. The Dora is 8 so. He's got one of those. He's also got an Anko of the 9 pin and 2 pairs. A lot of ways that can go, and all of them are scary for everyone else. Taking a look at Sashimi's hand, we got a sequence in the 2, 3, 4. An Anko of the 7 Mon. Could go for a flush there very easily. And the story across is some sequences. Got some work to do there, unfortunately. Well, we'll see. Could wrap up pretty quickly, too. And on Press X's end, we have some pairs, some wins there, all kind of different ones. You'll spend some time figuring out which one you really want to pursue and go for it as you pick up an Anko of the 3-mon.
Yeah, I think Jason's hand is probably the slowest at the moment, unless he starts calling. And right now, his current objective is just to get back over 30k since that last direct hit pushed him under the threshold.
That's right, but look at that pickup by Edwin now, getting 2 Anko in the hand with 2 pairs, waiting for that third. 2 Mons are in other people's hands, so I'm just thinking the possible Suanko situation. Not that he would really want to go for that, or needs to go for that right now. That'd be one heck of a way to kick off the season with a Yakuman. Yep, he's going to go Toy Toy. Good call there, I believe. 5 Mon to get closer to Tenpai here. Ishan 10 now.
Yeah, I think that was a good call. It's hopefully he can draw a pair to Dora, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's not that you really even need the door right now. In fact, I would almost want to get rid of that quicker, just so it can't get picked up by somebody else and used against me and smash through this otherwise great lead that he's amassed for himself.
Very fair. Meanwhile, look at Ryan. He's getting closer and closer to Chinitsu.
Wow, there you go. Shinitsu indeed. All you need is a little bit of cooperation from the wall and you're there. Just need some Manzu.
Boom.
And we have
no.
Tenpai for Edwin, looking for the 8-so.
Okay, it's not going to come out from Sam's hand. Oh, it might come out here. Okay.
Hanging on to
the
it.
danger.
Yeah, recognizes that for sure. But yeah, I don't think it's coming out of Lyra's hand. We have Ricci called by Jason, looking to get back into this thing, get above 30k. Waiting on the 5? Sorry, it's a closed wait of the 7 Mon only.
Each.
And another Ricci called by Lyra. Waiting on the 6 pin or the 3 pin.
Deal on here. The 4-mon dropped by Edwin kind of sets up a Suji trap for Jason as well. But there's well, I mean, they won't come out of Ryan's hand unless he decides to fold for some reason. Oh, he might deal in here.
Boom. Yeah. There it is. An aggressive strategy by Edwin, but ultimately it falls just short with Lyra picking up a Mongon, Ricci Pinfu Tanya with 1 Dora. Putting Sam very close to the 30k threshold. It's South 4, all last. Has a good shot at getting above it. Meanwhile, who could really use the points right now, that deep 4th has transferred itself over to Ryan right now. And we're looking at this starting hand. The Dora is 1 pin, you got 2 of those, and some sequences going on. This could be a quick hand, that definitely gets you back in the discussion. Taking a look at Lyra's hand, you see some sequences forming up. Really a similar story to the dealer's hand here. That's actually looking very close, especially with that 8-pin pickup. That's Tenpai. We're hitting the ground running here. 6 and 3 Mon to finish things off.
Yeah, if he gets lucky with Ura, he can shoot himself above 30k and secure second.
Indeed. Let's take a look at the other hands really quickly here. We have some sequences forming up in the hand across in Press X's hand. Got some honors to deal with there, though. That's going to slow things down in what is a very fast all last. Same story for Edwin. That good hand fortune he had in the past few hands seems to have dried up. That's going to be a lot to deal with in a very short amount of time, but you are the lead by a long shot, so he's probably looking to just coast this one out to the end and play defensively now. I don't think we're going to
Yeah.
see it continued from Edwin at this point forward. But look at
Eats.
this, another Dora pickup from Sashimi,
Sumo.
and that's Tenpai. But there's a
Oh,
sumo from the left, sorry, the right. Sanshoku, Richi, Menzen Sumo, Pinfu, Tanyao, and Uradora Abaimon to finish things out.
holy smokes.
That is
Uh,
crazy. 18,000 points to Lyra, and that's going to put them in second. Very close to the lead, even. That's insane. But this will be Edwin's game to win, 49,300, putting 34.3 points on the board. Lyra with adding 18 to the total. Press X with losing 10 points there, and Sashimi, or Ryan, losing 42.9.
that's incredible. Sam was dead last for most of that game and just needed one big hand. Well, after like a pretty good like Mongonish hand to shoot him
Mm-hmm.
up to second.
Mm-hmm. And a new feature we've got, we're posting the graphs, the scoring graphs for the games now in the chat. You can see that now. It's just been posted there. Click that link. We see the leaderboards updated now. Should note that there are actually 21 people in this division right now. Believe it or not, I am the one at the very bottom at the moment.
Yeah, some
But that
unfortunate game.
right, it is just the first game. But if you told me that was the like season-ending game, I would have believed you. They were playing for all the chips there right out the gate. I mean, my goodness, everyone's hungry in the B2 right now.
Yes, I would say that was very well done by everyone. It's unfortunate Ryan drew the short end of the stick, but I don't think he did anything wrong. It's just unfortunate, it's mahjong. Someone has to lose.
Hmm. Sometimes, I've heard mahjong described as a lottery that you can control the odds of, right? So sometimes even with the best odds, it just doesn't work out.
Hmm.
That's kind of the nature of things, but this is just the first season. So the first game of the season. So anything can happen. Definitely fates are not set in stone tonight. Thank goodness in my case. But here's the full loadout right now of the B2 division. And there you can see me sitting there at minus 54.6. But looking at the other people, some good stuff happening. And
And
we
we
will
just
have.
got
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say we just got word from the table that's playing. So the B2 division, table one, are poised to continue playing, but right now we are on a we're going on a short break since Joe. No, there's five people for this particular table, so one person has
Mhm.
to sit out each time. Joe is the one coming in for this table, and Edwin's switching out, but Joe has to wrap something up. So we'll probably have to wait for around 5 minutes for the game to start, and another 5 minutes because there's a delay.
Sure thing. Good time for a stretch break, hydration break. Take good care of yourselves out there in ARML land, and we'll see you in just a little bit. Go away. And we're back. Good evening once again. I'm Blaine Singletary along with Jeremy here, also known as Ichiban. And we're just taking a look back at this crazy hand that kicked off the Division B2 Table 1, Round 1 here in the ARML. This is South 3. We were just going to go through this hand really quickly while we wait for their next game to start.
So the dealer is Edwin. The one to the right is Ryan. The one across is Jason. And the one to the left is Sam.
Right, and this was the one where we started seeing those pairs come very quickly for Edwin.
Boom.
With waiting on that Dora by the end of it. So there's the call of the 5-mon.
Actually, wait, I think, my apologies. I mixed Sam and Ryan. No, Sam and Jason.
Yes.
Sam is the one who's across, currently last, and the one to the left is Jason.
Mm-hmm. Anonymized names in 10-0 replays, ain't it great?
Mm-hmm.
But here's where the crossroads was here. So we have the Anko of the 9-pin, Anko of the 2-so, and a single of the 8-so, and the Haku.
Boom.
There's the pawn call on the 2-mon, and now your Tenpai waiting on the Dora for Toy Toy Dora 2. And there's where we start seeing them pop up. There's one drawn on the right there, on that Itsu, that Shinitsu chance there. Of course, he's going to play with that and hang on to it. And that's where everything starts happening. We see Ricci called on the left. And then Chi called across from him. And then Ricci called across. Which locks in that 8. It's locked in across now, and it's only could be dropped, I'd say, from the Chinitsu hand growing there. And the other one, of course, in the wall.
Yeah, it's just a rough spot for Ryan. He's not quite Tenpai yet, but he can't really afford to drop that Dora.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got to look very dangerous, especially with none of them out on the field. And in the late game as we are at this point. So I think we were discussing during the break if he was going to fold with that, but there's the 6-pin. Do you break the rest of your Manzu and totally commit to the fold? That is the question.
And unfortunately, he doesn't. He pushes with the 6-pin here, deals in, sinks to last, helps Sam kind of climb out of being last place into potentially taking second, which he ended up doing. And it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, the Manzu also looked pretty scary against the Ricci, as our broadcast coordinator Nathaniel has pointed out. Yeah, I don't really see what you could do there. I mean, that's a rock and a hard place decision for sure. But yeah, that was just one critical moment in a match full of critical moments.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think we'll see them in the next match here, starting in just a few seconds or so?
I sure hope so. Like this last game, we were just talking about it during the break. We thought it was pretty high level. It was just everyone really going for it. And I hope that the next game is just as crazy and hectic because, well, it makes the experience more fun to watch and yeah, basically.
And we have Joe now entering this season fresh and new at 0 points. As we mentioned before the break, and as our American Ricci account chatted in the chat, this is a 5-person table, so for each round here, one player will sit out. Every player will play 4 games by the end of this, though. And there's the gong, so here we go. The Dora is 8-so, rather, in this starting off hand. We have Joe starting off as dealer, starting off in the season and as dealer. Got some sequences, especially with that 4-pin pickup, and a pair of the Sozu as well in the 6-so. Moving across the table to Sashimi's hand, we have some pairs already set and a sequence already in place. Looking across, we have some sequences in Manzu and Pinzu. That's almost ready to go. In fact, that West could be a good pair to hang on to. It's your Seat Wind as well. And in Press X's hand, we have some good sequences there as well. A lot of quick hands forming up very rapidly here to start us off.
He might. It's possible Sam might cut the West actually, since both of them are. It's a dead weight now. Just the two left in his hand.
Mhm.
The other two are cut. But we'll have to see how he progresses with his hand.
Meanwhile, Sam is Tenpai waiting on the 2-pin, going Dama for now. There's no Yaku without the Ricci call. But we're still early on, so you can try to shift to a better weight here, perhaps. Sorry, that's my phone going off. But now Joe picking up another progression there.
Each.
We're almost finishing up a sequence there. There's the Ricci call across.
Free-sided weight for the 2-5-8 pin.
There you go. That's where waiting pays off. We see those tiles still in the hands around here. There's the 5, though, and that'll be a Roan. Ricci Ipatsu. Uradora 1. Picking up one there. 6,200 points, a very respectable lead. Start us off here, moving on into East 2. The Dora is 4-pin, and that could very easily fit into this very Pinzu heavy hand, but we've also got a Banco of the 8-so. So there's many ways that can go. Almost rhyming here. And looking at Lyra's hand, we have some pairs in the east. Also the Sozu as well. Gonna take a little bit of work to get that going. Oh, but there's a pair of the 4s. That'll probably come together quite quickly at this rate. And looking across, we have some good sequences in the Pinzu. So in the Manzu as well. Meanwhile, east called by Lyra. And on Joe's end here, we have the sequences for... Well, there is one sequence. But still some work to be done there. There's something, though. That'll finish off one and possibly 2 sequences as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, it looks like Dealer's hand's really shaping up. I wonder if he'll be able to make use of that 3-mon, or else he'll just have to cut it out.
Right, or the 4-mon Dora. That's what you'd be looking for to slot in perfectly with this hand. It could even be waiting on a 3-sided weight, just as we saw last hand. There's a 4-pin pickup, though. And looks like some pairs now. There could be a pair hand for Press X, a Chitoi. That could be many other things, too, but it does look like it's pairs is the situation here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's Ishan 10. But another pair picked up by Sashimi here. Could be a race to see who gets Chitoi first.
Meanwhile, Sam is just Ishanten for possible Ton Toy Toy.
Right. You have the 6 and the 7 sitting together. 6 and 2 7s, so... You could also bail and, as I think we're seeing there, and go for an open weight with the 5-mon or the 8-mon, which was just called in one of the sets across.
So now Sam's Tenpai for 5-8-mon as his out, and Jason is Tenpai for 3 and 6 pin.
But look at the dealer's hand now. That's looking scary, but it'll have to go on for another time. We have the East picked up, East Wind and 2 Dora for 3 Han out of nowhere.
Wow. that was a quick and explosive round. I'd say everyone was moving very quickly towards Tempai at the end.
Absolutely. It all just kind of happens at once sometime. It's East 3 now. With a considerable lead for our dealer here, the door is 2 Mon. It's a good start here with 4 pairs rather, sitting pretty, ready to go further if needed. Press X, meanwhile, has some pairs, some sequences forming up as well. Got a little work to do there. Across, we see some pairs going as well. In fact, there's 4 pairs across as well, so we're picking up speed, though, and the dealer, I should point out, Haku and Hatsu called. Gotta start thinking about where the tunes. We see one of them in the hand on the right. Meanwhile, on the left, we have some pairs and some sequences forming up. That could be something, but this hand was really just pushed into overdrive here with those 2 calls on the dragons.
Right, as Eric said, now Jason is experiencing a lot of pressure. He probably doesn't want to drop the tune for the potential Daisanken, which wouldn't happen, but he's just the possibility is there.
Right. And you only need to accidentally deal into that once to know to never do that again. And I mean, it could be points for you if you hang on to it at this point. I mean, possibly.
Yeah, I think his only possible way to complete the hand and keep the tune is probably Chitoy.
Another tune picked up in Joe's hand across. Also has an opportunity to become one of those pairs, or perhaps well, couldn't become a sequence, but it could be the pair for the rest of your hand, perhaps. 2 tunes left in the wall. Let's see what happens with those. The 7 Mon called, though, cross. Setting up for Toy Toy there. Be a quick way out of this scary situation. Another Anko picked up.
Oh, he cut the one man. He really does not want to drop the tune. The the two the two
But we
calls
have
by
another
Sam.
tune picked up.
Yeah, the 2 calls. Oh, the 2 calls by Sam really makes it so that everyone's hands frozen. But Jason found Tempai regardless.
Now he's waiting on the tune, but that doesn't matter. 6 So will also finish off this Toy Toy for 2,600 points.
Incredible.
Wow. So there you know, as soon as you know the jig is up, you can win with that tune, but then you don't need it anyway. I mean, I don't see anybody still would be wanting to drop that unless maybe if you were Lyra in that situation. But either way, that hand is over. We're moving on to East 4 now. Chun is the door indicator, which means we are looking for the White Dragon as the Dora, and there was one already dropped by Joe. Meanwhile, the dealer, we have a couple pairs, 3 pairs happening right now, and some sequences. Oh, a sequence completed, just like that. For the rest of Joe's hand, we see sequence finished there. Another sequence just picked up as well. I'm just speaking sequences into being here. Sashimi, though, take a look at that, and you look at his discards. Oh, might be going for the orphans here, perhaps. You have options, though. You could easily turn that into a Honitsu as well. Keep an eye on that for sure. And Sam has some pairs going on. 4 pairs to be exact, and also a sequence. So a lot of ways you can go with that at this moment.
Yeah, I guess Ryan's kind of. It looks to me, yeah, he's going for Kokushi. I mean,
Yes.
he's last, and he already that last from the previous round is kind of starting to sting. So I guess
Picks up another one.
Oh, wow.
Now waiting on the 1 So, 1 Pin, and the 9 Mon. And a Haku. Unfortunately, 3 of the whites are already out. So that'll be... If he picks that up, that's when you commit to this thing. That's when you're like, all right, let's go. Could have picked up that tune to bail out, but no, he's sticking with it. Picking up another pair of the 9 So there.
Reach.
But we have Ricci called now from Jason. Waiting on the
Gee.
4 or the 7 mon. Immediately his Ricci tile is called by Joe.
I think at this point, Ryan should probably just fold, hope that someone else gets hit.
But he won't have to worry about that. The Press X drops the 6 mon for a Tanyao for Joe. 2,000 points.
And
Getting so
that push-
close. Go ahead.
Oh, it's my apologies. I was going to just say Joe's now the one above 30k, whereas Jason is now under 30k. So their positions swapped just now.
We're just cruising through this match. We're already in South 1. And Joe could shoot up to the lead, perhaps, with this hand. Well, actually, maybe not with this hand. It's got some work to do, but you have 2 pairs, some closed weights, some edge weights. It's a challenging start, but things can happen. There's a sequence right there. Ryan, on the meantime, has got some sequences of his own going, and some pairs as well. Up across, we have an Anko of the Chun. It's Chun City for everybody tonight. But look at all those Manzu, though. That could turn into a Honitsu very easily. And meanwhile, on Jason's side, we have a pair and a sequence. And that's really about it. But it's progressing. It's just got some ways to go.
I think the ones who got the strongest hands here are probably Sam or Ryan. Ryan could easily become Tanya Nomi. Well, hopefully he can get into Ricci and make it more than just Tanya Nomi. Meanwhile, I think Sam might be committing to the Honitsu. We'll have to see.
Yeah. We'll certainly see. I mean, I think that last hand is a perfect reminder of the power of Tanyao. Sure, it's only one hand. Sure, it's standing on its own. But it just took down a very serious Kokoshi attempt and a lot of other craziness happening in the other hands.
Oh, wow. The other hit Tenpai was that 3-month
Wow, there you
draw
go.
Gee.
by Stain Tama.
Yeah, I believe, well, it's almost a Junchan. He picks up the 1 mon and drops the 4. Then he could go for Junchan and not have to worry about calling Ricci. As it stands, you'd also need the 9 so as well.
Yeah,
But-
so it could also be a Junchan Sanchoku, but he'll have to hope he draws the 9 so to avoid being in Furi 10.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely the possibility there, but that's going to slow things to a halt. We're starting on the 2nd row,
Each.
and there's a Ricci called. I think you start going for Ricci at this point, because this hand's up quickly. 3 so is what Lyra is waiting for across the table.
So, and that is
Oh,
Dora's.
interesting. Dropping out of Tenpai now. Joe is. Looking to fold, perhaps? That one is
I think
defensive
so.
against the reach, yeah. Living to fight another day, you're 2nd place, you're above 30k. It's a viable strategy at this point, I'd say. Not the most spectacular one.
Meanwhile, Ryan just hit Tenpai, waiting on the 4 pin and the 5 pin.
Good catch there. He'd like to catch those, but it looks like the 4 and the 5 are pretty well locked into the hand across from him over in Jason's hand, who is waiting on the... Sorry, that's the hand across is waiting on the 3 so, which are also locked up pretty tightly in that hand. Which are Dora. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, 2 left in the wall. So he could draw it.
Oh, close. There's the 2.
Not quite what he wanted. Very close.
Absolutely. It's all a matter of who gets their tile first. Running out of wall, though. And now we're Tenpai over on the left. Looking for the 1 mon or the 3 so, but the 3 so comes out. Ricci, Chun, Dora. 6,200 points. And that's will push further into the lead. Yeah, that will be Sam pushing further into the lead as we head to South 2. Dealership now goes to Ryan, who will be starting things off, hopefully looking for a comeback here in his perspective. We have an Anko of the West. That's not a relevant win, unfortunately, but you have a good sequence of the 1, 2, 3 and a pair of the sixes. 6-mon, rather.
He's already Ishanten too.
Yeah, that's true.
Eats.
Oh
Go
my
for a
gosh, he's
quick
already
reach,
Tenpai.
and that's exactly what he's doing. Looking for the 2-pin or the 5-pin. Looking around the table, they're already residing in the hands, and they look pretty well set. Especially looking at Lyra's hand, you've got that as part of an Ipeco, perhaps. There's still more of that in the walls. It's a pretty confident reach, especially this early on.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else's hands can catch up. They just maybe it'll push, maybe it'll fold. I'm not sure which one they'll do.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, with a reach this early, there's not a whole lot you can do defensive-wise. But we are seeing some people at least consider what Sashimi has already dropped.
True, yeah.
Hmm. Meanwhile, Joe is putting together some good Sozu there, but might just be looking at how to defend here, especially with when you are reaching from someone that deep in last place. You don't want what happened last time, in the last game rather, to happen where person who's deep in last gets this huge surge back up.
Yeah, he's gonna have to hope that maybe the door indicator is Ura door indicator is pay, so he gets no, it would be south. So he
Yeah,
gets
would
free
that be south?
Uradora.
Mm-hmm.
But for
But
for right now, it's just Richinomi.
mm-hmm. Which that's all you need to redeal the hand and keep yourself as dealer for another go. But
Boom.
there's the 2, and that's all you need. Ricci, no Urador this time. Just close to it, but that'll be enough to continue this dealership.
Yeah, that was a direct hit on his direct competition, who's
That
sitting
is,
currently in third.
yeah, that's a good point. That's going to pull your third place closer to you, and maybe one day you can pass over them. The Dora in this hand is 6-0. We see one of those in the dealer's hand right now. The rest of this hand, though, is looking rather difficult to navigate. A lot of pairs, but a lot of just tiles wayward scattered here. We'll see how we can navigate out of this one. Meanwhile, Sam got a good selection of Pinzu at their disposal, with a pair of the Sozu as well, and a few wayward honors. Speaking of honors across, we see some dragons up in Press X's hand, calling the Haku right away. The rest of that hand, though, is a little difficult as well. Have some pairs over to the left in Joe's hand. 5-mon, 6-mon, and 1 So. And some sequences waiting to get together. And picking up a pair of the 2-mon there as well. So might be going for Chitoy. At least that seems like the easiest way forward. I mean, we're seeing a lot of difficult hands in this round.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how everyone plays it. Well, him drawing that 7-pin kind of makes Chitoy look not so great.
Hmm.
Maybe he's trying to
Yeah,
go for a more normal hand now.
that's true. All you need is the 4-mon, 7-mon to even go for. Doesn't need to even be an Ipeco. It could just be 2 sequences just to keep this upstart fourth,
Boom.
staying in fourth, and moving ahead. Meanwhile, Press X's Tenpai waiting on the Green Dragon with that call of the 1-pin.
So this will be Haku Dora.
Yes, Haku Dora picks up another 5. Sorry, 6 is the Dora, which was just picked up by Joe, I believe. He's not going to drop that, though, even though it doesn't really fit that hand. Things are already looking
Yeet.
pretty scary from there, but he's going to go reach and drop it there. Probably just waiting for the right time. What do I know? But 2-mon, 6-mon. Yeah. Wow, indeed. Things coming together very quickly.
So there's 1 6-mon left in the wall and 2 2-mon left, so he can
Boom.
draw it. And there's one more hot suit left in the wall, so maybe Jason can draw his out. We'll have to see.
Ryan, I think, is stepping on the gas here to just speed this into a Tanyao and shut these hands down. Pretty much what you have to do in this situation, just to
Yeet.
keep your dealership. We have Ricci
Mhm.
called by Lyra. 4 and the Green Dragons looking for those as well.
There's a possible double wrong situation. Oh,
Well, not well. If someone else draws it, sure.
right. And Ryan just hit Tenpai as well.
Here we go.
So everyone's
5 and
Tenpai.
8. Everyone's Tenpai. Ryan Tenpai for Tanyao. Tanyao Dora 1. So some good amount of points there. 6mon picked up. Where does it go?
Dong.
Drops the one you already had to maybe throw people off, but that's the deal in Ricci Nomi for Joe. 3,600 points with everything in the pot. And we're moving
That's
towards
unfortunate.
the end of the game here. Well, not to the very end. We're getting there though. It's crunch time, definitely. Lyra gets dealership, and they are far in the lead right now with 44,600 points. And looking at this hand, I could see you extending that lead even further. You got some pairs already and a sequence already set. Just have to kind of see what you want to do with the Pinzu and the Sozu at this point, but I've seen much worse hands, for sure. Some pairs off in Jason's hand as well. We see the 2-pin, 4-pin, and a sequence there of the 7-8-9. Joe's got a sequence, not quite a sequence. 5, 6, yeah, those are 8s. Got some work to do there, I will just say, but we'll see. And Sashimi here, Ryan, that is, has some pairs already in place and a sequence in the Sozu already set.
Which includes Dora. But
Right.
yeah, it's his hand's kind of coming along. But I guess the hand to watch for right now is Sam's. Was a few calls. They'd be in Tenpai.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's another difficult hand situation for everyone. It's going to be a bit of a slower pace, but Bears got a chance here to just put themselves far into safety.
Yeah, everyone's still just waiting for their hands to just draw the right tiles for them to progress. Otherwise, they kind of just
Boom.
oh, here comes the Hatsu. Just
There
what the
we
order
go.
doctor prescribed.
Mm-hmm. That'll strike things off here. I think we start seeing things pick up now. 3. Still got that 3-6 Sozu that's just kind of sitting in there in a weird haphazard way. Might be hanging on to the 3 so you can go for a Sanshoku, but that's a little difficult now, especially with one of the 4s already out in the field.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can also just accept Dora with the 3 as well. So that's something to consider as well.
Right. Many ways you can go, and you've already got the Yaku locked in, so if you want to go for another dealer round or two, you can certainly do that with this hand.
Mm-hmm.
You see some progression with Jason right now. He's got that sequence locked in, some pairs of the 4s and the 5 so, and a sequence of the Sozu now. That's about Ishan 10, I believe. Similar story across as well. That hand is progressing very nicely. His hands all start out rather dire, but they are really shaping into some nice stuff. We
Yeet.
are only 22 tiles left, but we got Tenpai and Ricci called by Joe. Looking for the 4 or the 7.
Mm-hmm. And it's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, there's 2 left in the wall. I'm not sure if they'll come out from people's hands. They seem kind of locked in. Except for maybe Sam, but we'll have to see.
Interesting there. Dora picked up by Ryan.
Oh,
Gonna
that was
break up
just
that sequence. Looks like he's gonna go for Cheetoy now.
yeah. And the 6-month drop. Oh, he's folding. I thought Sam would have maybe pushed. That's
Right.
Dong.
And probably good that he did. There's Ricci Pinfu Dora going to Joe, 4,900 points.
So this is actually kind of something Ryan was not too unhappy seeing, I'm sure, because now he can just win a Mongon and he'll overtake Jason.
That is true. Let's take a look at Jason's hand now as we kick off all last. The Dora is Red Dragon, and we see two of them already in this hand. We have two pairs set. Some sequences you can also turn that into. Not the best situation, but definitely one you can capitalize on, I'm sure. Looking at Joe's hand, you have an Anko of the 3 So, and some pairs, and also a sequence in the Manzu as well. Anko of the 8 pins across in Ryan's hand, and you see some sequences almost finished there with a pair of the Norths. And some pairs on the left side as well in Lyra's hand. And some sequences also just about finished. We have a Khan called by Sashimi. The new Dora is 5 Mon. We see 2 of those waiting in Joe's hand. That can turn that hand into something real scary real fast.
Yeah, and he conned himself into Ishanten.
Yeah, that's true as well. Chun's called by the dealer now. Kind of a distant third, so we definitely like a good jump start and start working on some combos to, well, at least get above 30k. Second and first, notwithstanding.
Looks like Jason's trying to find a good head for his hand.
Right. Headless Ishanten. Well, it's not quite Ishanten, I don't think.
Yeah, not quite.
6 is called by Ryan across. Not leaving that open for the Dora. He hopes to get another triplet of them, perhaps, but we know that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, he's going for Toy, looks like.
Yeah. You kind of need some more points at this point because you're in 4th. So,
yeah.
See what he does here. All right, we have the 4 So pickup from the dealer here. That can go several different ways. We're getting close here to a conclusion. Lyra looks like just going for Tanyao at this point to just shut this down and take that victory with you out the door. Oh, well, we got an Ipeko pickup from Jason now. Still need a head for the hand, but that's very close to extending this game, sending us into overtime. Now a sequence picked up by Lyra. We're looking for the 1 So 4 So now. 4 So is the only thing that could deal in legitimately to this hand, though. And there it is, picked up. And it goes! Sanshoku Tanyao. I forgot about that Sanshoku, but that's 2,000 points to put a sweet little cherry on top of this win for Sam to finish off Game 2 in Division B2, Table 1.
Yeah, Sam had a rough 2 games here. No, not Sam, my apologies. Ryan.
Right.
Ryan did. Meanwhile, Sam had a great 2 games, so...
That'll put them at the very top of the leaderboard at the moment. Of course, it's only 2 games played, and other people have played only a couple games right now. Joe moving up into 5th place, and Jason and Ryan at 19 and 21. In fact, I'm the 20th there. I guess the spreadsheet's kind of being funny, pretending I don't exist. But
oh no.
But anyway, here's the full lead out. There I am. So, pretty interesting picture to start with. Of course, a vast majority of players not playing yet, but what are you seeing in this leaderboard so far, Jeremy?
Well, it's very early in the season, so things can change very rapidly, but Sam and Shane are off to a great start. Same with Edwin. And Edwin only has played 1 game, and he's tied up with Shane, so that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, again, some very aggressive play from Edwin, as a lot of people in the chat are noting kind of a change in form for him. But we'll see how that keeps manifesting itself. There's still 3 games to go with this table. I believe now we're going to shift over to the A1 division matchup, which is already in progress. We've got Korak. We've got... Can't quite see those names, but...
We've got Korak, we've got Oliver, we've got Huang, and we've got Vincent C.
That's right. Thank goodness one of us has the sheet in front of them. Thank you. But yeah, we are just getting started here. It's East 1, and I believe they've already played one game already. So this will be game 2. We can see the leaderboard, and we see that Arthur has taken the early lead with 29.5, Oliver with 7.6, Vincent with negative 11.7, and Hong with 25.4. So, and as far as the start of this hand, Korak going for 2 triplets automatically right out the gate, looking for an easy Tanyao. It could be other things at this point. But we have 2 triplets also called by Oliver as well. And a Roan. Oh yeah, that already went to Tenpai. Gets the Haku with 2 Dora to take an early lead in this matchup.
Yeah, that was real quick.
Yeah, take a moment. Catch your breath. But anyway, here we go into East 2. The dealer is Oliver now. We see some a sequence already set and a couple of pairs as well. We see a triplet already called by a gimmick as well. That's Hong. And some other triplets could be called from that hand as well. That could be a Toy easy. Looking across, Farcon's got a sequence locked in. Actually, a couple sequences just about locked in. And Korak's got a sequence, 2 sequences, and some closed weights to navigate, but otherwise off to a great start.
Yeah, Huang. My apologies. I was just going to say Huang has 2 Dora too, so he'll have to probably cut the 9 pin, I'm guessing here.
That's
Oh,
right.
that's the 2 pin.
That's the 2. Looking to make some sequences out of the Manzu, perhaps.
Mm.
I was just going to mention, we're already seeing a pretty good example of the different playstyles you see at different points of the league. A1, of course, very knockdown, drag-out fighting here, but especially when Korak's at the table, I gotta say. So, and there's already Tenpai. We missed that while I was pointing that out, but there's Chun with 3 Dora this time. He picked up another 8 pin on the way out, getting a Mongon to stack on top of your starting points. That's quite a way to get things started. This hand, though, not going to be easy to continue that, unfortunately. We got some honors and some 1s and 9s. You could go for Kokashi, but I don't really know why you would.
Yeah, it seems a bit too far, but
No.
he can maybe go for a Hatsu hand.
Yeah, there's things you can do here. It's just going to take some work. Meanwhile, an Anko of the 2-so in the hand on the left. Also some pairs. That one's looking actually pretty quick and deadly. Same story for the hand across. Anko of the 5 pin. Pair of the 9-so and the 8 pin as well. Oh, we're already Tenpai, and there's the 4! But, doesn't call it. Interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
That would have been a Chitoy. You could have called that tile, but he's going to go for Ipatsu, perhaps?
Well, he is
Shanta?
4th. He probably wants some more points.
Oh, there you go. I'm not sure why you wouldn't have called Reach to begin with, unless you're trying to just figure things out, which is totally valid, but it doesn't matter! There's the Haku! Richi, Chitoy, no Uradora, but 4,200 points. And we're already in East 4. You know, it's funny, because, while we were talking through that last game, I saw that A1 had started, and then we're in about South 3 of the last game, and A1 had started again, so I'm like, holy cow, they are going at breakneck pace and not letting up. So I'm going to quit blabbing and get into the hands here. Vincent is the dealer now, got 2 sequences already locked in, that's how fast we're going. A pair of the West as well. Looking at Korak's hand, we have a sequence in the Sozu, not quite, some pairs though. And looking across some sequence there, but otherwise some work left to be done. And Huang's got a little bit work to do there as well. Getting tongue-tied with how fast this is going. Got some pairs though, so not all is not lost here.
Yeah, Oliver could call on that tone, and I think he will.
Home.
There he
And
is.
well, now his hand's progressing probably faster than everyone else.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That says something. Right.
Oh, okay. I thought
Hmm.
he might maybe keep the chance for 1, 2, 3 Sanchoku, but it looks like he's
No,
just trying to hit Tenpai as soon as possible.
yeah, just
With-
finish quickly. You kind of got to match the speed of the other players at your table here. He's got a good shot at the lead if this converts. Hmm.
Yeah.
So we're waiting on a 4-pin on the hand on Korak's side. That'll put him into, well, not quite. He's still got some stuff to navigate with the Manzu. Another pair pickup from Vincent. And another sequence pickup from Oliver. No Sanshoku, but now Tenpai on the White Dragon. Actually, that would be Furitan, as they've already
Mm,
discarded
She.
one.
no,
But you
he's not
can.
quite. He's not quite Tenpai. It's 3, 4,
Oh, my
and
mistake.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Thank you. Thank you for jumping in. Yeah, but close. Very
Very
close.
close. It's a very wide Ishanten.
Yes, very wide indeed. Dora is the 9 so, and we only really see, well, we do see two of them in Hong's hand, which is progressing nicely. We do see a sequence. I noticed
Oh,
Iron lied in chat, one of our mods, pointing out no Kyushu Q in this lead. But we are progressing very
Home.
quickly. 2 and 5 is what one of the players is looking for right now. That would be Oliver, picking up
yeah.
a 10 pie there.
Home.
So
With
Korak.
Tudora.
Wow. Wow. I didn't even catch the 2 Dora. Yeah. So
Home.
he's sitting pretty well. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
But here's Hong coming in quickly. He's got Tudora as well.
But he can't win unless he draws it the last tile or someone discards his last out.
Oh, but there's the
Oh,
2 so. He'll
Home.
put it
he goes in.
down. And there you go. There's the East with Tudora, 3,900 points, and the lead for Oliver.
I was gonna say, Korak was going for a 7-8 Sanchoku and decided to fold, and well, his 30K points are still untouched. So I think we joined during East One, and I think we've only seen Ron so far, no sumos. So that's very interesting to note.
Well, at a table like this, it's got to be an accomplishment to just keep your point stack untouched, you know? Not even
Hmm.
having to give off to any sumo at this point. But taking a look at this hand, well, it's going to be difficult for him to add to that total. We see a couple pairs of the West and the 9 so, some sequences just about ready to get finished, but has got some work to do here. Over in Oliver's hand, coming off that big win, we have a couple pairs and some sequences set. Over in Huang's territory, we see a couple of a pair and a sequence and some open weights ready to be filled in. And Vincent, we have some open weights and some pairs. Kind of a difficult situation, especially picking up that whole Anko of Souths, one so's and dropping them. It's
Oh,
always
that's rough.
annoying. But they wouldn't have fit in that hand.
Hmm. Oh, now we're Gimmick and Oliver are what they call Moshi Moshi. They both have a pair of the tune. So one of
Hmm.
them's they're both waiting for someone to drop the third tune, but it probably won't
Right.
come out, so they're just gonna be stuck unless they use the tune for the pair.
And they also have a Dora apiece as well, so we're seeing some mirror hands going on. Gimmick picking up an Anko of the 7-pin, though, while Korak picks up a sequence in the Sozu, 345. Hmm. Vincent possibly setting up himself up for an Ipeko. for the 5, 6, and 7. If you want to cut the 4 at some point, but there's a pair of 4.
Think you'll probably cut the 6 pin or 7 pin. Kind of overlap with the 3 and 4. Oh,
He
he just
puts the
tosses
4
the.
back.
Yeah.
That might be really trying to force that Ipeco, perhaps. There's a 7. Give you an Anko if you choose to accept it. That'll be the indicator. Yep, and he's going to put a 7 back. So he's going for Ipeco here, or I'm not really sure what else you could be going for with that. No, you're just getting everything that's not what it is you're going for. While being very mean to Vincent this time, I must say.
Right. I mean, now he's headless. Um,
Oh, wow. Meanwhile, Korak finishing a little bit more of a sequence there. Still has some ways to go. Still at loggerheads on the tunes. I don't think people are going to put those down. Have a pair of the Souths picked up now by Oliver.
yeah, and maybe someone else will draw
Eat.
and discard the. Oh,
We have Reach
yeah.
from Vincent. Gonna put
Waiting on
down the
the
4 or the
4 pin.
7.
Yeah, 4 pin and 7 pin.
Now, the pairs that could go with that sequence. We see an Anko of the 7 locked up in Hong's hand, and a 4 not quite so locked up in Korak's hand. Given that he's already dropped 2, well, he might drop it if push comes to shove, but he's got plenty other things he could drop that are much safer and are not doing as much with his hand.
Yeah, I think everyone else is just gonna fold.
And that'll be the story of it heading into Ryukyoku. Just as we say, there's no exhaustive draws in this league. There you go. I'm not even calling that commentator's curse. That is chat's curse now. We're moving on to South 2, though, after that little lull in the action, if you can call it that. Oliver is dealer now. The door is 1 pin, and you see 2 of those in this opening dealer hand, picking up an Anko of the greens as well. This could turn to
What?
something very big very quick.
He's
we're
already
tenpai.
tenpai.
That's right. Oh my gosh. Looking for
Holy
the
smokes.
9 or the 5, not calling Ricci, doesn't need to, because this is already some heck of a lot of points without that. Picks up another Dora.
Is he gonna greed? He's greeding
He
for
is
it.
going to greed. Oh my gosh, you're already in the lead. But he wants to really make sure he secures that. Oh, wow. What a show. Waiting on the 7 so only. You see one of those still a little loose in Korak's hand, and the other 2 are in the wall, still very much in the early game here. 47 tiles left. Let's look at these other hands before this before this one passes. The sequence is in Huang's hand. Never mind. There's a 7. I knew that was going to happen. Got the Hatsu and 3 Dora taking 12,300 points from Korak, putting him into a pretty far last. And staying dealer. South 2 continues. The Dora is Haku now, and he's got 2 of those starting off as well. Double Doras once again, calling the Easts. Man, that was our one break, I think, back in that first South 2. This is just going breakneck speed.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Catching my breath there, but there's the one Mon called by Korak. Looks like he's going to go for a... I'd say you can almost go for a Chinitsu at this point. Only 2 honors really standing between you and that, but the other honors come in, he may rethink that. Just seeing
Yeah,
that early... Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, I think that's probably what he's thinking, going for a Chinitsu to try to catch up.
Boom.
Chase correcting me, the door is Chun, not Haku. Thanks. So,
Ah,
so he does have that does change things, but thanks for the correction there. But yeah, now, so Korak is hanging on to a door at this point. We have Tenpai, though, from Huang, looking for the 5 or the 2 Mon. Excuse me. But there's a Anko of the Haku. Meanwhile, Korak getting one step closer to that Onitsu or Chinitsu, but that doesn't matter. 5 going in. So that's seat win with Dora, I believe. It went away very quickly.
Yeah,
Was
I
it
was
Dora?
gonna say Vincent was Tenpai, but he didn't declare Ricci, so he couldn't win. But it didn't really matter since Huang just won.
I don't know if you call Ricci there.
Mm.
Well, obviously can't pause and look at that situation again, but things were progressing very quickly, as was the theme of this game. So we better get into it. South 3, Gimmick Huang is the dealer now. Dora is 9 so. We've got a pretty nice looking hand here with a couple sequences set and a pair or two. Vincent with a sequence, oh, not quite a sequence, but some open weights and some pairs and a few closed weights over in the Manzu section. Korak's got a good presence of the Pinzu, could go for an Itsu there. With that pickup, maybe, well, it looks like he might be committing to that. Needs points now. And, so Korak's definitely going to be gunning for those in these last 2 hands of the game. Ash, meanwhile, similar story with the Sozu's. Got a possible Itsu there. That's also some pairs in the other suits as well, so we'll see how that develops.
Yeah, so it looks like Korak's going for Honitsu, and Gimmick's
Gee.
actually Ishanten. If he can get the last 2 so, he can have a Ipeko winning on the 1 and 4 Mon.
Absolutely.
Gee.
Clark Khan moving a little bit closer. Korak calling the 4-5-6. So far, only has the seat
Yeet.
wind at the moment. Dealer Ricci now. Waiting on that 2 so, as you mentioned, that's what he's going for. A very hellish wait, though. Only 1 out. I mean,
I guess.
if I'm dealer, I'm looking for a way to keep being dealer at this point. Granted, he is above 30K, second place, so there's some points in it if he does decide to just push things to the end, which with this hostile table might be the best bet. Live to fight another day in the league.
It's very amusing to note that Eric predicted that Huang would go for this Ricci, and he
There
did.
you go. Eric or Flan Mew in chat with the prediction. We have Tenpai with
Gee.
Oliver, excuse me, with 3 pin and 3 so, waiting on the pairs there. We also have Tenpai from Vincent. Sorry, we have Tenpai from Korak with 9 so there to just push this thing along with the west winds. Tonki wait there, so can be
Oliver
switchable.
Oliver took apart his Tenpai actually.
Oh, yeah, I see that now.
The 4 so backfired for Korak. He's still waiting on the 9 so.
Yeah. Some misdirection here. I mean, if you're looking at this discard pile, you're thinking a possible Onitsu here with what he's called and what he's dropped.
Sumo.
There's not that many in there, but picks up the 9 so for Sumo.
Which is
With
Dora
2
too.
That's right, we forgot about that. So he has some points, a good respectable amount of points. That'll jump him to a much less distant 4th as we head into all last. South 4. The Dora this time, so I don't forget, is 6 so. And in this dealer's hand for Vincent, who's looking to dig out of a 3rd place and at least get his head above water here to get some positive point in action here. He's got we're just refreshing the page. Have some pairs right now. One of those pairs just became a called set of the Chun. And we could see this becoming Jun-chan in the best of cases, but may not be going for that with that drop of the 1 mon. It would be Jun-chan, it would be Chanta, of course. A pair of the 1 pin called by Korak. Interesting to see where he's going to go with this one from here. It looks like he's just trying to grab 3rd. He's not got the Dora like last time. Vincent calling the 9 on now to just extend his time as dealer, keep this game going a little bit longer. Meanwhile, across the table, we have some pairs going on right now with a sequence to supplement them. We are 10 pi on the 6 and the 9 and the 6 from Korak right now. He's got that Anko of the Haku to put this game to an end. And there's the 9. Does he call it? He does not. Looking to get some more points out. We are still only about halfway through the hand.
He's probably hoping that Vincent drops the 6 so, and he can land
That's right.
direct hit.
So we can, 6 so, land the direct hit, and pick up another Dora on your way out. That would definitely get him above the third and mitigate the loss here.
Oh no.
Oh, but there's the 9 so.
I bet Korak's so mad about this.
Hmm. So he could call it now and bring this game to an end. He's going to drop it and go to Furitin. So
Home.
now he
Meanwhile-
has to. There's no direct hits anymore. You have to draw it, but there's the 3-pin for a double roan. This one will be just for the tune for the dealer. And for across, it's Pinfu Tanyao. I didn't see the... there would be no Uradora, but there you go. This game's still going on. East 4 with 1 repeat. The Dora is 3 mon. And the dealer right now's got a difficult hand to start with some 5s and some 8s, just kind of sitting out there.
Home.
I'm not sure where this goes from here, but we'll see. Korak calling an early 9 mon triplet. He's got some sequences for that as well. Might be going for Junchan here, or Chanta.
He has 2
one of those.
Dora. He has 2
Oh.
Dora. He can go for Haku, 2 Dora, and take third. And if he lands a direct hit on Farcon, get second.
That's right. He is Otozuke, but it would be very easy to change that status, for sure. But let's look at the hand across here with Oliver. 5 pairs, actually, just from the start.
Wow.
I mean, that's a hand you can shut this game down with, for sure. Hong on the meantime has got a sequence with the Pinzu and also a pair there. Also 2 other pairs, in fact. So he's got a good shot at converting in this final hand as well. Important to note, all the players aside from the leader are below 30k. That would be some serious points for Oliver should they convert in this hand.
Unfortunately, Korak's in that weird position. If he draws a Dora, the 3 mon, then he has to find another head because he needs that Haku to be an Anko. So it's a triplet. I mean, so he just
Right.
has to hope someone drops the Haku, and then he'll be waiting on the 5 and 8 pin.
Yeah. It's a sticky situation. But he's going for a high-risk maneuver to get himself out of 4th. And possibly do some damage on his way out of the game here. Oh, there's another pair. We are 10 pi for Oliver now, looking for the north to finish things out. He only sees 1 on the ground. Huang's got the other 2. So, unless those come out, this is a dead weight.
And I don't think they will. It's a seat win.
Absolutely. That's most likely not getting dropped. Vincent's picked up one of those Haku that Korak is looking for now. At this stage of the game, I don't think he drops those unless he really wants to push this dealership forward, but I don't really see that being an option for him at this point. We're in the last 20 tiles. Last 15 now, in fact. And the rest of his hand just really cooperating to really be worth pushing at this moment.
Yeah, at this point, Korak's hoping he can get to 10 pi, and that Vincent is also in 10 pi, so he gets another shot.
Home.
Oh, he puts out the north. That's going to be called by Huang.
Vincent, do you think he'll call?
气
He
Yeah, he wants to
does.
keep the game going.
Yeah, he sees a way forward now. He's going to go for it. Meanwhile, Hatsu is what Oliver is waiting on now for Tenpai to finish this off, but at this point, probably going to wait for the end of the round to shut this down. Unless Vincent can get to Tenpai himself, he's got one more draw, and that's not going to do it, unfortunately.
Oh,
Wait,
huh.
there it is! The last Hatsu, he's Tenpai now for 6 pin 3 mon. I don't see the 3 mons coming out though, and well, the 6 mons are pretty well locked up as well, but Korak will finish with 3,000 points. That's going to be enough to get him into third. And yeah,
Wow.
so a good clutch move by Korak to mitigate damage there. But this is Oliver's game all around, winning 37.5 points. Everyone else below 30k, so they're going home with losing scores here. -4 for Farkan, -10 for Korak, and -22 for Huang. See those scores update on the leaderboard shortly, but man, what a game. It did slow down at the end there as everybody was just kind of tense, just kind of looking to see what everybody's doing. But to get to that point, we were just at total breakneck speed. I mean, this group started at 8 o'clock. Sorry, at the top of this last hour. We're only at 57 past the hour now, and they are totally just smashing it out. We were actually going to possibly transition into the next A1 match tonight, but they've actually yet to get started, so we got a little bit of time here to talk this match over. What are your thoughts? I feel like I'm taking up all the oxygen right now. That was intense.
No, I mean, there's just a lot to say, and also so few words coming to my head to talk about. That was great. Like as you said, the game kind of slowed down towards the end, but it was like they're kind of playing like positionally. They were trying to squeeze as many points as they could without dealing in. It was became very calculated towards the end, and we see our Aaron Lead pointed out that Oliver had broke Tempai at the end during the last go around, so that meant Korak would get slightly more points than he would have if the two of them were in Tempai. And now we see the standings.
Mm. Oh, and there go the standings. But we can see the top of A1 right now with uh actually though that's still from the last game. So that's
Hmm.
not the updated scores at this moment. Looks like a little bit of technical difficulties on Google's end. There we go. All right, so we see Oliver moving up to second with that win. And Arthur, Korak, sorry. Oh, his name is Korak. We know this. Korak is up to fourth with 19.2. Vincent down to 16.5. And Huang at, with his 2 losses so far, at 47 below. A difficult start for Huang, but we're still in the early goings. That's what I've been reminding myself today after last night's couple of losses. But very interesting start of affairs here for A1.
Hmm. Yeah, you just gotta remember the season just started. In fact, last season I was near the bottom too. I was in a very tough. Uh, at the start of the season, I was Korak, Lucas, and Oliver, and I was like in the demotion zone. But then I
Yeah.
managed to claw my way up, and everyone else can claw their way up. They just can't give up. They just
Hmm.
have to play their best mahjong. Their opportunities will come.
I believe you were very much in the conversation for league champion as well last season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I was for a bit, and then Huang. Oh man, he took off. It was a sight to see.
So there you go, Huang taking off. We'll see if he can do that again in this brand new season for summer here in the ARML. Again, just getting started here with everybody. Since you will be facing these people at some point down the line, Jeremy, what are your thoughts? Are you starting to come up with a strategy on how to deal with these 4?
Uh, well, I'm still figuring things out.
And if you
It
don't
was
want
a
to
little bit.
reveal your strategy on the air, I totally understand.
I'm not that calculating. I'll just say what I've noticed. Yeah, Huang is very aggressive. He's not afraid of taking those reaches with horrible weights. I mean, sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. Um, I think we saw last. I was gonna say that Oliver is a very defensive player, but so far the stats. I think that was based off last season's stats. So far, it's not the case, but things could change. And I'm still trying to figure things out. I'm not, you know, I guess I'll just have to try my best. We'll see how things go.
Mhm. Well, that's all you can do. And we'll be seeing your games, I believe. Well, we should be seeing them here at some point. At some point in the season, we like to make sure everybody gets covered at some point here on our ARML broadcast live on twitch.tv. Of course, do yourselves a favor, follow us. Hit that little heart at the bottom of the screen to be notified whenever we do go live with Riichi Mahjong action here in the ARML. You can also find our previous streams at our YouTube channel. You see it on your screen right now, tinyurl.com/ARMLYT. You can also follow us on Twitter at American Ricci. You see the links coming up in the chat as well. Thank you, Jeremy, helping me out here, of course. And so, yeah, keep up with us. We're just getting started with the summer season here. So lots of neat things to do. Of course, yes, the homepage, AmericanRicci.org. You can already sign up for Fall League, so if this action's got you itching for a fight, you can join in yourself, see how you do. And we should note as well that there's a good opportunity, perhaps, if you do sign up early for Fall League, that you might be called upon to be a sub in one of these games. Perhaps if one of the players drops out for whatever reason, you might be called into one of those matches. It'll be pretty interesting to see how you can do. I'm getting word that the next A1 group is getting ready to get started. Jeremy, I believe you have the paper open still, so who do we have up next, if you happen to know?
All right, so let me.
I
It
can
should be
click over there too.
Max, Andre C, Amy, and Kenyon. So they played 2 games earlier this week, and they're just finishing their set tonight.
Right, the current leader right now, Kenyon, with a 49.7. Interesting so far. Granted, it's still in the very early going. We don't have any double winners at this point. But it's Kenyon currently very close to Oliver's score. We'll probably see that change, though, as we get going the next round here. You can already see them highlighted on your screen as well.
These are 4 very strong players as well.
Mhm.
Kenyon was actually right behind me in in taking and possibly taking the championship after the dust settled from the last Hancheon for Huang, Max, Eric, and Steve. Uh, Amy won the last reach mahjong tournament in person, the Richinomi uh, Open, which was last weekend.
That's right.
And Max, like Pink Yoshi, very well known in the Mahjong Soul community and then on Tenho. And on Hanemandre, great username, great plays from him.
Absolutely. So some very big titans getting ready to square off here. I just got word the match has started, so we'll be going to that in just a few minutes here. Yes, less than 5 minutes to go. In fact, since we're at the top of the hour, good time for everybody to take a quick short stretch break. We'll be back with you very shortly. And we're back with the ARML A1 division match tonight on this Thursday night. I am, of course, Blaine Singletary, joined tonight by Jeremy on commentary. Great matches we've seen so far in both the B2 and the A1, and there's another A1 match coming up right now.
Yeah, it's well, Amy, I think she's better than what her rank suggests. So I'm going to just go ahead and say that this is basically a Tokuju game on Tenho. Everyone's 4 dan and above 1800 R.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and as you were saying, she was the winner of the Richinomi championship here.
Right, the Richinomi Open.
Held just last weekend, Richinomi Open.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. I saw the pictures from that. Looked like a really great gathering of the community. You know, it's a lot of people whose names I've only seen as usernames here, but interesting to put names to faces. We are underway with Light Pink Yoshi, Max, starting us off as dealer. The Dora is the 1 mon, and we see that in this opening hand. Got some sequences as well, with a couple of Wests there waiting as in the wings as well. Have some pairs over on Kinyan's side. 3 pairs and an Anko of the 7 picked up just like that. Calling the 1 pin there to make another triplet. Looking across, we have Amy's hand with some sequences in the Manzu. Actually, a lot happening in the Manzu, but calls the Pinzu for a quick way out on this one, seeing another call possibly in response to that one. Hanemandre, as you were saying, Andre C. has some sequences going on right now with... that's just about it. But still early goings. He can work something out of this, I'm sure.
Yeah, still just a work in progress.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's kind of the theme with a lot of these hands. We see some people trying to step on the gas a little bit here. You might have been watching that last game, perhaps, and thinking, well, this could be how the speed of this goes. Granted, they have already played 2 games with each other, so they have a little bit of knowledge on how their competition is playing tonight.
Mm-hmm. And actually, Kenyans actually Ishanten for Toy Toy. Just need to call that Sanso or, well, there it is.
Waiting for the White Dragon 7-so. For Kinyan. We see the White Dragon off in Hanemandre's hand. And the 7-so locked up pretty tightly in Light Pink Yoshi's hand.
Yeah, so I think it might be up to Kenyan to draw her out. It doesn't seem like the Haku or the 7-so are going to come out from either Andre's or Max's hand.
Oh, but there's a drop of the 6-so. Well, that'll make it possibly setting up for a 3-sided weight. If anything, it's a very wide Ishanten with, well, not quite Ishanten. But look at this now, the 7-mon. I forgot to mention that was the Tenpai Open Amy's hand.
But there's no Yaku.
There's no Yaku, that's right. So that's going to become the Khan in Kinyan's hand. Still waiting on White Dragon 7-so, possibly calling that for a Rinshan chance, but that makes the new Dora 5-so. And we see 2 of those in Hanemandre and Light Pink Yoshi's hand. Speaking of pair weights, we've got Chun and Faibon now. Amy's waiting on that.
She can only win on the Chun, though.
That is true. Good to keep an eye on that, for sure. As far as the Chun's whereabouts, well, we haven't seen them. They're all hiding in the wall in these last 20 tiles. So, Amy would hope. Gonna put a Khan there? No, choosing not to call the Khan for the Rinshan chance. Still kind of early. You don't want to possibly give points to your opponents.
No, what she drew was the 6-mon, and her pair is the 5-mon.
Oh. Alright, I meant calling the Khan, adding that to those 6-mon Khans, but doesn't matter. Here's the Red Dragon.
And wow, she just drew it like that. My apologies.
Ah, that's alright. Trust me, I've missed plenty of calls tonight. Trust me. Moving
These
on to
tiles are
East
hard to
2
see.
now. I'm sorry?
Oh, I was just saying these tiles are sometimes a little hard to see.
Yes, especially the far hand there, but anyway, we're moving on with more action. East 2 now. The Dora is 7 mon. We've got a pair of the white and the green dragons now. White was just picked up. We have a sequence in the Pinzu as well as some open and closed weights. We'll see how that turns out. Looking at Amy's hand now, about the... we got some open weights and closed weights and a pair. Either way, that's going to be some work. Andre picking up the Souths just now. And Kinyan picking up the whites. And Andre picking up the 4-mon. We got a very quick game going on. Picking up the tunes now.
God.
5 and the 2 now, waiting on that for the Sozu suit. The 2s are in the hands right now. It's still early on. And Amy could easily drop that 2, and she does! And there's the roll. Only Chun, but that's gonna put a quick end to East 2.
That was so fast.
Absolutely. I mean, that was only, what, 3 turns around the table, pretty much?
Yeah.
Yeah. This game proving to be a quick one as well. Blink and you'll miss it. We're on to East 3. We're seeing a great presence of the Sozu right now in Amy's hand. That could easily turn into an Itsu. Probably Honitsu of some sort. Yes. With the Souths there, and taking a look at the other hands now, we see some sequences in Andre's hand for the Pinzu and the Manzu.
He's already Ishanten as well.
Oh, yes, that's true. Man, what a show. Looking at Max's hand right now, we see a possible Ipeko coming together, as well as some pairs in the Manzu as well. And over in Kinyan's hand, we see some sequences coming together, but we already have Ricci from Andre, and I believe he is waiting on the 4 or the 7 Manzu. We see some of that, or the 1. It's a
right.
Would it be the 1?
I think it's the 1. 1 and the 4.
G.
You're right. Why did I think 7?
G.
Okay. Well, we have 2 sequences of the 2, 3, 4 called, but there's the 5-mon. People trying to pick things up, but the Tanyao police strike, and that'll end that hand. Moving on to East 4.
This has been the trend so far at this table. Like, someone's poised to win, and then someone else wins. It's kind of crazy.
Absolutely. It's just things coming together all at the last minute for everybody at once, and it's all who can capitalize on it first in just split seconds. Anyway, it's East 4, and the Dora is 9-mon. We don't see that in the opening hand for Andre, but that could easily be accepted. But we got a good presence of the Pinzu as well, with some sequences and some pairs. Max's hand is looking pretty okay, I'd say. You've got a sequence in the Sozu, pair of the Norths, not a seat wind. It's a start. I'll give it that. Kinyan, meanwhile, also has some work to be done. You got a couple pairs. One could be a sequence. And a good presence of the Sozu over in Amy's hand. With some good overlap there with the 2, 3. Dropping one of the 1s, looking for maybe a quicker way out. Important to note she is above the 30k right now.
People in chat are showing their appreciation for the Tanyao police, by the way.
Oh, yes. I appreciate the Totodile there. That's one of my favorite Pokemon. Meanwhile, Andre has really put some magic together here, picking up the Dora to complete off that 7, 8, 9 sequence. Has a 1, 2, 3 while we weren't looking as well. This is Tenpai now if he drops the 6 pin. Or maybe it would be. Decides not to. He's passing on it.
Yeah, I guess the Champagne weight's not good enough for him.
No. But you are dealer. So you just want to go for whatever you think can catch something. Catch fire, as it were. Shun's called by Max. That's getting it a step closer. 2 open weights, a completed sequence, and a 4 just kind of sitting on its own there. Another Dora pickup by Andre. Could be looking to pick up a 6 and make that the head of this hand. Then you also have the 2 pin.
Yeah, the weight's gonna be just another Xiaopan weight, but the value will be quite a bit bigger. So maybe that's something he's going for.
That certainly would help here. Not too far in the back right now. We are at East 4, and everyone is still pretty close together score-wise. We've yet to see the hand that really breaks this game apart.
リーチ
Unlike the last game, where everything was like big hands dropping quickly, this has been rather short jabs at the moment, but we do have Ricci from Kinyan at the moment, looking for the 6 pin, 3 pin. And now we're Tenpai over on Max's end, though, and immediately gets dealt in with Chun Dora. 3,000 points. And that's the same thing, as you pointed out, that theme of just every quick 10 pies, one after the other, and boom, someone just swoops in all of a sudden and grabs their winning tile out of nothing.
Yeah, thankfully it was just a little peck. It wasn't like a punch or anything. Everyone's still very close to each other.
Mm-hmm. It's effectively anyone's game as we head into the half here. South 1. The Dora is 8 pin. We already see some sequences in the dealer's hand. Max taking this off in the first round of South. Picking up a 3 there to really fill out the Manzu side of things. We see some more pairs over in Kinyan's hand. Could accept the Dora pretty easily as well. Looking in the across, we see some pairs there as well, and a sequence in the Manzu. Andre has got some good stuff happening there. We see, well, it's not quite a sequence. He's got some open weights and edge weight. That can turn into something very quickly, but right now it's a lot of work to be done on Andre's end.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Meanwhile, Max is Ishanten.
yes, I was about to say, he's done a pretty good progress there. At 4-5-6 in the Manzu. Good pair. That'll help things, perhaps. Not quite.
Yeah, he's probably hoping to draw a 3-mon so he can have a 3-sided weight. But he can also draw the 1-mon, the 4-mon, the 5 so or the 8 so or the 4 so. Or it's just like
This is
so
about as
many
wide.
tiles.
It's about as wide open an East Shanten as you could possibly get, so beggars
Yeet.
can be choosers here. In fact, there we go to Tenpai. Ricci time. Looking for the 6 so or the 9 so, with the 9 so just dropping out, so that can convince other people to perhaps drop it themselves. Of course, no one else has it in their hand right now, as we can see.
Mhm.
Not
And
necessarily them.
this would be for Ricci Pinfu so far.
Ricci Pinfu, but the possibility of Uradora is definitely there. Would be a huge shaker of it, but there's the 9 so. It's going to hold on to both of those weights, both of Max's weights in the hand there. Picks up the 5 pin. This is Andre's hand. Filling in that sequence. Let's see. Oh, but drops the 9 so, and that'll be this hand. Ricci Pinfu with 1 Uradora. You gotta believe.
Yeah, now this game is starting to blast its wide open after that hand.
There we go. A first real big lead of this game, and it's happening here in South 1 with 1 counter. The Dora is 3 so, and we already see that being used in a sequence in Max's opening hand. We've got some open weights for the Pinzu and a pair of the Wests. Not that that's really relevant to this hand, but we'll see how that shakes out. Meanwhile, Kinyan has some sequences already ready to go. An edge weight in the Sozu and a closed weight in the Manzu. Pair of the Hatsu always helps as well. Across, though, take a look at that. We have an Anko of the 8-pin just picked up, and some pairs to go along with it. Quite a few, in fact. That could turn into something. Oh, but look at Andre. He is in last, not by too much, but
Chi.
possibly entertaining Oh, never mind.
Reject
Calling that,
Kokishi, return to normalcy.
yeah, return to Chanta, perhaps. That's what I could see this turning into. When you see someone with that kind of hand putting down all simples for the opening 3 turns, you gotta wonder, but not this time. Doesn't really need to. He's not that far behind himself. And another call there. He's definitely getting rewarded for making that decision.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's probably going for Chanta at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe Junchan.
That's right. Junchan, a possibility. You only got a green and a white to hold you back from that. And there goes the green. Immediately called by Kinyan. Dora is 3 so, of course, and that goes to Amy's hand pretty well. Holding 2 of them. That could be a very high value Tanyao. Oh, and picking up another 7. That's Tenpai.
Yeah, I think they're going. Yeah, that's the better
Going
way.
for the open weight of the 5 Mon and the 2 Mon. 2 Mon sitting in Andre's hand at the moment. Also the 5 Mon. And O's picked up on the wall by Amy here with a Tanyao 2 Dora. Doesn't give you the lead, but it makes you very close. As our broadcast director pointed out in the chat, could have had a chance to go for Sananko and go for a little bit of greed there, but converts on that 3 Han hand instead. Okay, we're moving on to South 2 now. The Dora is 8 so, and taking a look at... blanking on the name. Kinyan's hand. We have an Ipeko in progress. 1, 2, 3 in the Sozu. Some open weights there as well, and a few honors that they are currently mitigating. Amy, meanwhile, looking to continue that momentum and push into the lead here. Could do that with those Souths they just called, with a guaranteed 2 Han already. Just gotta finish out the rest of that hand, and you already have a sequence and some open weights and a closed weight to bring that one home. Oh, that's gonna give you another Han. 3 Han already on the board for Amy. Gotta get to these other hands very quickly. We have the sequences in Andre's hand. Not quite completed sequences yet, my apologies. But some work to be done, but it is progressing. Light Pink Yoshi's got an Anko of the 6 so, and a pair of Manzu, as well as a pair of the 9 so as well.
Yeah, and as pointed out by Abernad, Amy could potentially go for a Tonki 8 so weight.
That's
and now
right.
bump the hand up.
Add
to-
2
oh
Dora,
my
and there it is!
God.
Wow. Don't need to worry about a Tonki weight when you draw it right out the gate. There it is. 9 so 6, 9 pin, 6 pin. One of those 6 pins getting picked up. Not likely to come out of that hand, I don't think, I'm afraid. But Andre's got the other one and drops it!
Wow.
Double non, Hatsu, 2 Dora for a Mangan to push Amy into the lead.
And now she's dealer.
And dealer as well. Incredible situation for Amy. Just needs to stay on the guard all the way to the end. Second place is not that far behind, so you gotta be careful. The Dora is 9 pin. And looking at this hand, I definitely see a potential to convert once again. You got a sequence already set, a couple of open weights, and a pair just picked up of the 2 pin, as well as the Hatsu as well. In Andre's hand, we see a sequence at the edge of the Pinzu. And a sequence in the Manzu as well. And another sequence completed right there with that pickup. So that one's definitely one to watch out for. And Max, meanwhile, has a pair and an Anko of the
Boom.
ones. Just picked up one Mon. Drops the 8 Mon, and that's immediately picked up by Amy, who's another step closer. That's Ishanten now for Amy. And Yuki Tora, also known as Kinyan, has some sequences in the hand right now and a pair of the 5 So and 9 Mon.
Yeah, and what's something to note is Hanemandre is actually Ishanten. Headless right now though, so probably the weight will be hard. Oh, and then Amy
Ooh.
just drew the Hatsu again. So that's a little backfire, unfortunately.
Suddenly you can't get rid of it. Oh, but that's a good way to turn things around. Picking up an Anko of the 2 Pin. Ishanten now looking for one of those
Chi.
Sozu to get filled in. Calls on the 2, now Tenpai for 8 and the 5.
So there's 3 left in the wall, 4 left in other people's hands.
True. I don't see the 5s coming out of Kinyan's hand, being that's the pair.
Each.
Well, it could be the 9 Mons, though, as well. Oh, but the 5's been drawn. We have Ricci from Andre. They are
No.
looking for the 3 Mon there, but sorry, 3 So. But 8 So comes out. Amy converts on a Tanyao, and South 3 continues.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. The H-So was Genbutsu to Andre's Ricci, so that's why it came out.
Right, exactly. Well, we're moving right along here. Dora is 1 Mon. We don't see that in this hand, but it could certainly accept it. See a sequence in the Manzu, as well as a pair and a closed, some closed weights there in the Pinzu and Sozu. Looking at Andre's hand, Ipeiko in progress with 7, 8, 9 in Sozu. Some closed weights and a almost sequence ready to go there. Max has some, just picked up the Souths. That's the round win, so there's a Yaku there. To keep themselves above second place and above that 30k threshold. The rest of the hand is not going to make that easy, though. Especially now with Kinyan calling the White Dragons. For a Honitsu there, it appears. The Manzu in tow. A 1 Mon would really help that out. We don't see any of them out on the board. Well, we do see one. It was actually just dropped by Amy. My mistake. Amy picks up an Anko with a 4 Pin there.
Chi.
As noted by Tatenu, our broadcast director,
Boom.
it's possible for Kenyan to go for. Okay.
Never mind.
Never mind. I was gonna say that she could possibly go for a Shosangan, but Shosangan.
That would have been a nice, expensive bow to put at the top of that Honitsu.
Each.
But Honitsu with 1 or 2 Dragon Yakuhai is not a bad thing either, but that's going to have to come together quickly. Andre calls Ricci looking for the 2, the 5, or the 8 Manzu. Oh, wait, actually, sorry.
It's a free. Yeah, it's a free-sided weight. I think 2, 5, and 8.
Yes, you're right. Okay, I see it now. I was a little confused by some of the other shapes in that hand. But there you
and
go.
then Kenyan drew the tune again. That sucks.
Gotta be disappointed with that, but the rest of the hand looking pretty good.
Chi.
Mm-hmm.
4 and the 5, just called by Amy. Oh, there's the 2 Mon. That deals into Kinyan.
Boom.
Double Roan. Yes, it deals into Andre as well. So on Andre's side, Ricci, Pinfu, Uradora, and Haku Honitsu for Kinyan. All in all, a double Roan from the leader. That's got a smart for Amy here. What a show there. Still just barely hanging on to that lead, though, as we head into all last. I guess that could have been a whole lot worse in Amy's situation, but we're moving right along. South 4 now. The Dora is 6 pin. We see 2 of those already in Andre's hand. He's got a chance to, I'd say, do a Hane Mandre or more from this, depending on how well the wall cooperates with giving you lots of tasty Pinzu. But he just needs to win to stay alive and keep the game going. Meanwhile, we see some sequences over on Max's hand with the 6-pin Dora could be easily accepted there. And Anko of the Fourths across in Kinyun's hand with some open weights ready to be turned into full-blown sequences, and some orphan tiles just kind of sitting out there, the 2 and the 7 mon. Meanwhile, Amy on the left has some sequence shapes coming together and some edge weights for 1, 2. Possible Sanshoku there, but it's got a little work if they want to go that way.
Yeah, it's possible, but I feel like she just wants to shut things down. I mean, she's in the lead. A single hand will secure her first.
Absolutely. Especially with the pressure on from Max just across the table from you. So we'll see how that develops.
Mm-hmm.
Hatsu drop now. And he picks up a pair of the Pinzu. Pair of the 3 pin there. Fit nicely if you need a head for this hand. Oh, but it's going to turn into a call. Called set. I mean, Max doesn't need much to take the lead here. Just a Han and some change is all you really need.
Ah, but he drew the 9 pin, which is not what he wanted. He was probably hoping to draw the 6 pin.
10 pine now on the 9 mon, 6 mon. Only the 6 mon will let him win, though.
And he can't actually win because he has no Yaku.
Oh, you're right. That's what you were saying. Yes, of course. Yeah, can't win. No Yaku in this hand just yet. You have that 9 mon. Well, you might hang on to that because it works pretty well in Kinyon's hand, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Oh, and all the 9 mons coming out right now, of course.
Oh, of course. Oh, no.
So close and yet so far for Max, but that's going to change the weight technically to 6 mon, even though, again, still no Yaku. Need the 6 pin real quick, pick up the Dora, and then you can turn this into a Yaku for Tanyao. Tanyao Dora 1, in fact. But,
And possibly overtake Kinyan.
Mm-hmm. Oh, picks up the 5 pin. That's a Tenpai I didn't see, but that's from Kinyon's hand over across.
But they didn't declare Ricci, so they can't win off that either.
Oh, that's right. Well, wait. No, you're right. Yeah, because that 9 mon, it's...
The 9 mon. The 9 pin. Everything's gone off the rails because of these honored terminals.
Probably would have wished that 7, 8, 9 at this point, but realize that joke might... Oh, that might help things. Well, no, again, you still have the 9, so...
Ricci.
Gonna call Ricci, though. I guess now or never, with only 10 tiles left in the wall. But the 5s, as we can see, are all pretty well locked up in these hands.
Yeah, and it's also the Dora indicator.
Right.
So
you're going to be extra wary about letting that one go.
So at this point, Hane Mandre. Oh, wow.
Oh, and there's the sumo pickup.
Yeah, we didn't even get to Amy.
But Amy will secure the victory with that sumo, heading out of this game with 24 points. And I'm getting word from from Chase Ironlide that this was game 1000 of the ARML. So nice little distinction there. Amy going out with 24 points. Light Pink Yoshi, Max, going with 10. Oh, sorry. This was 999. The next one is 1000. So stick around to see what happens in game 1000.
Yes.
uh, but we have Kinyan with a negative 6.4 and Andre with a negative 28.6. The scores have been updated on the leaderboard. Amy now secures first place, Kinyan in third, Max in 14th right now, 26.7, and Andre in last, negative 75.7. Of course, I say 14th, 16th, and all. Half the players are still have yet to play, so I can't really say place numbers at this point, but that's just where they're at right now. And there's the full picture in front of you there.
Yes. So for now, half of us are basically Saki, plus minus 0, because we haven't played a game.
That's right. I've not watched that anime, but I get that reference.
Okay.
So there you go. I guess I was almost Saki in my playoff series that closed out the last season, but altogether, it was another fast game. We had a lot more just quick jabs this time instead of all-out assaults. In fact, the game ended pretty closely, still with everybody in more or less the same ballpark. Maybe not so much for last place there, but what are your thoughts on that? And do we see that happening again in this next game?
Well, I mean, uh, I feel like I saw a lot of close games in A1, and there are some blowouts in A1 as well. It's just like any other league. It's just maybe some of the players in A1 are better, slightly better with efficiency, so the hands are coming together a lot quicker. And that's what I think we saw last game, right? A lot of people were
That's
hitting
right.
tempo around the same time, and they were
Hmm.
seemed poised to win, and then they get sniped. It was really, I mean, there were small hands, but it was really incredible to see how quick everyone was.
Yeah, it was very much a sniper fest there. I think you're right. Just a lot of quick hits and not necessarily big in value. As our broadcast colleague Nathaniel's pointing out, some of the players at this table known for their more disruptive call-based play style. And I think we definitely saw that on display here. Everyone seemed to be disarming the other player with a quick, just snip of the wire type hand. Of course, the Tanyao police were called multiple times to the scene, and I'm sure we might see that happening again as we get ready to get going with this next game in the series, starting in just about a minute. It looks like Max will be starting us off as dealer once again.
I'm pretty sure we'll see multiple appearances of the Tanyao police in this game.
Yeah, they're going to have their work cut out for them tonight, but there we go. This is game 4, so they'll be finishing off their series tonight and kind of lock their starting positions in this A1 leaderboard, which is sure to be competitive as we keep moving forward.
Yeah, this gonna. I think this is gonna be the first table to finish all their games. Actually, everyone
Yeah,
else
that is
is.
true. Yes. Of course, as you see at the bottom of the screen, this is the summer season, but hey, if you've got some plans for some Reach Mahjong of yourself and want to push your game forward in the fall, well, you can definitely sign up for this. Sign up with us at AmericanRichi.org. You have until September to do that, but get those in now. You might even be called in as a substitute for one of our games to get your feet wet very quickly in the world of ARML. So if you're Andre right now, what are you thinking as far as how do I work myself out of this situation and kind of start uh, outside of last, perchance?
Well, you can either go super aggressive, try to call a lot to make sure no one else wins, or you can go for huge hands, or you could go super defensive and hope that you can find your opportunity and then other people deal into other people. But it looks like the game has started.
That's the gong. Here we go. Max starting us off as dealer, as I mentioned. I already got 4 pairs picked up, And that can turn into something big. I want to draw attention to across the table where there's 3 honor pairs already set. That looks like that could turn into something pretty big. The tunes get called, but already the 2 whites are out, so no Daisangen happening this time. The other 2 players on our left and right were quick to discard those this time. Speaking of that, Kinyan's hand on the right. We have some Anko of the 4 so already in, and some pairs for 1, 2, and the 3 pin. And over on the right, on Amy's hand, we see a couple pairs. 3 pairs. 4 pairs. Oh, gotta count this more. 4 pairs already in Amy's hand, and that could turn into a whole lot more, as we are seeing, though. Just drops a pair of the 1 pin. It's gonna be a little disappointing, but still early on.
Still quite early, and Honey Mondre has a chance for a very spicy hand. Oh, never mind. The Haku's dead. Oh, never mind.
All right, that's
It's
what I
just
was
a show
pointing
sign.
out.
Right.
That was discarded pretty early on. Well, actually, in the very earliest, one could discard those tiles. Anko picked up by Max now has a triplet and 4 other pairs. Technically, Ishanten for Chitoy.
If you were in Max's shoes, would you go for Chitoy or would you go for Toy Toy?
I mean, this is that crossroads that I believe has an entire chapter devoted to it in Ricci Book 1. But
Mhm.
at this point, I would still plan on going for Chitoy unless the opportunity arose for me to possibly call on somebody's triplet. But we have
Yeah.
Ricci now. I'd especially do that at this point with Amy calling Ricci. Picking up an Anko of the 4 so, now waiting on the 7 Mon 6 pin. Sorry, 4 Mon, I should say. Ugh. This hand is definitely wrapping up in a rapid pace. Max picking up the 9 so, going for a calling out the Toy Toy there. But you have to drop that 6 in order to do that. And that's what's waiting deal in for Amy there.
Yeah, Amy took an interesting choice. She either could have gone for the better weight or gone with the Shampoo weight like she did here and lock in Tanjao. So this one has more value, but and
We have 10 pi for Max, but as we mentioned, that'll deal in immediately. Ooh! Picks up 3
Ura-san!
Uradoras for that otherwise standard Ricci Tanyao. That's going to give you a serious lead coming out the gate here. Amy going up 38,000 as we head into East 2.
What an explosive start.
Absolutely. It's looking like we could see explosive things from Kinyan. Perhaps. There's an Anko of the 6 pin already locked in. Door is 4 so. Incredible action tonight. 4 so. Could fit in this hand, perhaps. We'll keep a look on that. Andre picking up the East there. We see some pairs happening in that hand as well. And Amy picking up the tunes early on. We see a sequence in the Pinzu, pair in the Pinzu as well. The Sozu. East called by Andre. Now we're seeing some sequences from Max in the Manzu. And some open weights across the rest of the hand.
Amy's okay. She's still Ishanten, but yeah, she's almost there. Everyone else needs to try to catch up.
Not going for the triplet there, trying to have what is essentially an open Ipeco, or, well, no, that could become many other things if you drop the other 3, perhaps, and go for the open weight there in your Manzu. A closed weight picked up by Yukitora. Khan called by Andre. The new Dora is 5 so. Not seeing that around the table just yet, but that can fit in these hands, absolutely. We do see 1 discarded already. And 1 picked up, just like that.
Just like that. Uh, yeah, Kenyon can draw like the two pin, and then be have a pretty great weight. Oh, but of course not.
Mm. The pair of Pinzu now for Kinyan. Pair of the Sozu picked up by Amy now. She tries to navigate this hand just on the cusp of Tenpai. Gotta weigh out your options here with this one. And just hope that the wall cooperates with you.
Yeah, everyone's hand seems a little frozen at the moment.
1
Yeah, not any serious progress getting made, though. That'll help with Andre calling the 345, rather.
Oh, but now Amy does not want to drop the Dora.
Hmm. Gonna be tough to convert with that, though, but I don't really see you having much other choice. Well, that might help things. Picking up the one so. Drops the one pin in its place.
Yeah, she might
Max,
go for. Oh, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say, Max picked up the
1
Hatsu after dropping one of them earlier on in this hand. But now we have Tenpai from Andre looking for the 5 so. Two of them already visible in the discard pile. The other two are sitting in the hands right now. And that is the Dora, so people are going to guard those a bit closer. Dora Taki.
Yeah,
1
and unfortunately for Amy, she already discarded a 5 so earlier, so she'll be 40-10 if she tries to go for that Dora Tonki weight.
But doesn't need to,
Wow.
because there you go. 1 Mon, 4 Mon, Tenpai.
There's only one mon left in the wall.
And only
No,
6
my apologies.
tiles.
Yeah.
So probably looking to just grab a quick Tenpai as we head to the draw here. Here's the 1. That'll fit in this hand. You gotta cut, I'd say you cut one of those other open weights. Drops one of the extra 8s instead, that works.
Nice.
But
9
drops the 4, and that'll be Roan. Probably didn't expect to convert on that, but Amy will take home 3,900 more points.
The destroyer of New York cannot be stopped.
Oh, New York was just the warm-up round. Now she's taking on America. Here we go.
Oh, wow.
East 3 kicking us off now. The Dora is 6 Mon. Andre is the dealer. He's got one of those in his hand. All you need is a closed weight there with looking for the 5 Mon to finish that out. You have some pairs and some other just various things, but triplet of whites will help. That'll get
Home.
that hand quick started. And a call of the 8 so already from Amy. This hand's moving quickly. Pairs already, pair and a triplet rather, of the 6 so 7 Mon. And a sequence there. That's Ishan 10. Max has a good sequence presence shapes in the Pinzu. And also Sozu as well. And Yukitora has an Anko of the 1 Mon
Home.
and a sequence of the 6, 7, 8. A pair
Home.
in the 9 so and an open
Dum.
8 for that. But we're already Tenpai. Amy gets it very quickly, and Andre immediately deals in. And that is all she wrote. Amy continuing the domination here as we head to East 4.
Pull over. This is the Tonyo police.
Absolutely, but that was a little bit more. I believe she got some Dora along with that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's already East 4. The Dora is 3 so, and Amy's got one of those in hand, but it's a little sitting by itself right now. There's not a lot really paired up at this moment in the hand, though, so there's a lot of opportunity for changing this up. Max, however, has some sequences just about locked in there, but otherwise pairs and some open weights. Looking across, we have a sequence shape set up, and a couple of norths, and that's really about it. Andre has a sequence right now and some open weights and a pair. That one looks like the most textbook as far as the way along these hands are. That one looks about the closest right now, I would have to say. I don't know, it's a toss-up with him and Max.
Yeah. The
Taking
Dora
a
is the Dora is our Lord and Savior Sanso. Only one of them in Amy's hand at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that, again, is just kind of sitting on its own. Not really sure if you'll hang on to that for much longer, seeing as the rest of the hand, everybody's got buddies right now.
Each.
But we have Tenpai from Max waiting now on the south or the... Oh, I'm sorry, it's a Chitoy hand. We're waiting on the 2 only. Tumon. Oh, and
Yeah,
that could have come out there now that that 2 is all by itself with that sequence forming up in Amy's hand. I'd say, well, that's going to lock that in a bit more, so probably safe there.
it might come out for Hanemandre's hand, but I don't know. I feel like Max locked in this Chitoy Richie because he's last, but it's not a great weight.
Yeah, you just kind of need points wherever you can possibly find them.
Mm-hmm.
Amy holding on to this Dora to the bitter end. Probably detecting that this might
Boom.
be Chitoy. Wait, but there it is. Richi Chitoy no Uradora. 4,200 points. That'll be enough to take third.
And second's not far behind.
Absolutely. I mean, it's still pretty much anyone's game once again, heading into the South round now. The lead is kind of far off, but you can easily bridge that with 4 more hands at least to go. Max starting this hand off in South 1 with some interesting shapes, but nothing really quite together yet. The Dora is 3, so once again, not could be accepted in this game. Seeing a couple pairs of the Chun and the some other almost sequences in Kinyan's hand. And Anko of the 9 pin is the spotlight in Hanemandre's hand, with some good sequence shapes forming up. And Amy has a good pair in the Manzu. But that's about it. You have some open weights and some edge weights as well, so got
Yeah,
some work to do.
Yeah, it's a far way away, but she can go for a potential 1-2-3 Sancho crew.
Hmm. Meanwhile, Andre dropping that Anko of the 9s, making that just his pair. Possibly going to make a Pinfu out of that, perhaps?
Boom.
Perhaps.
And that'd be the only thing I could think of to break that one up, but there could be other reasons too.
Yeah, at this rate, he'll have to go for like a bad weight though. Have to draw the 7 pin and then maybe
Gee.
drop the 5. So I mean, draw the 7 so and then drop the 5 so for a Suji trap, but we'll see.
Absolutely.
So it looks like Amy is going for the 1-2-3 Sanchoku. There's not really much else the
see.
hand could do, I think.
Yeah. In the lead, so you can kind of afford to take a more defensive stance now. Kind of coast this thing to the end, perhaps. The Sanshoku would be worth some good points. We have Tenpai, though, over on, I believe it is Kinyan's side. Yes, waiting for the last 7 to pop in and make 2 sequences out of that. But there's many other ways you can change that up like they just did. Now you're waiting on the 4 pin and 1 pin to finish this off for Chunomi. And, yeah, Chunomi. There's the one hanging on to it, wisely, I might add.
Yeah, it looks like Amy has folded.
Gee.
Oh, no, never mind. She's okay.
4
Oh,
Calling Natsuzuke, but doesn't matter. Calling be a tune hand for Kinyan, picking up a cool 1,000 as we head into South 2. The Dora is 2 mon, and we see one of those in the dealer's hand right now. Of course, that is Kinyan as dealer now. We also see some pairs and some open shapes coming together. And a north kind of sitting out there as well. We'll see what happens. But Andre starting the hand with a Anko of the Green Dragons and some open weights there. Oh, open and a closed weight. And some other mess that needs to be dealt with. We'll see what happens. But definitely the Yaku right out the gate gives you some confidence. Across we see a few pairs. Some good sequence shapes coming up. Closed weight as well. And Max with some sequences forming up. That 9 might help things down the road as well. Yeah. It's finding its way, everyone kind of finding their way through this hand at the moment. Really seeing what they can do in this stage of the game.
so now it looks like, yeah, so Yuki Tora could potentially go for 1-2-3 or 2-3-4 Sanchoku. They're keeping their options open by discarding the 5 pin. So they can keep the 1 pin and the 4 pin and see how the hand develops.
Absolutely. You have a potential, well, it's not quite a 3-sided weight that could have happened in that hand.
1
Amy calling the sequence of 2-3-4 there. Looking to be going for Tanyao.
And it looks like Kenyan's abandoning the Sanchoku, which makes sense. She's already Ishanten.
Amy calling the 2s now, the 2 pin. Dropping the 9, definitely committing to this Tanyao, going for another quick win just to keep this South round going much more quickly. Another call right there.
She's so aggressive, it's great. Oh, she has 2 Dora too.
Yeah, that's right. I missed that. 2 Dora. So Tanyao 2 Dora. Once again, that seems to be her theme tonight.
1
Oh, but now we have Max trying to catch up here with that 2-3-4 call.
リーチ
And now we have Ricci for Kinyan, waiting on the 1 and the 4 mon.
Oh no!
And there's
No.
the 4 mon! Oh no, with Ipatsu. Ricci Ipatsu, Pin Food, Dora 1. That's a Mongon off the leader. Ouch. And that's just enough for Kinyan to take the lead. Not by much, but you're there, and you're still dealer. That's going to spell out danger now for Amy, who now has to defend herself against this.
ポン
And he calls the Souths immediately. For the rest of this hand, this could turn to something points-wise very quickly. Only needs to get some more sequences together, and definitely has the shapes to do it. Hane Andre has some pairs at the moment. One of those could be a sequence if they so choose. Amy has a few pairs of her own, with the sequence forming up. Max with a few pairs of themselves. So there's quite a lot happening with pairs in this hand, I'm noticing. Another pair picked up by Kinyan as well.
Yeah, our players don't want to keep their tiles lonely, so they're pairing up everything somehow. And yeah, we'll see how this develops.
It's couples night in the ARML.
Yeah, a summer fling.
Yep. But Max is tripling things up now with those 2 pin. Right as we say that. As I make that little quip. Important to note, 3 so is the Dora. And we have 2 of them in this Tenpai hand for Amy, looking to strike back. Waiting now on the just the 3. It's a poor wait, but this could be rather explosive.
Just one left in the wall.
Yeah. The other thing too is she doesn't really need,
1
well, that much. Another Ricci called by Max now. They will be waiting on the 5 or the 8 Mon. Or possible
Mhm.
Ipeco. There's the 8. Not going to drop it. Even though you do see one of the 8s already discarded earlier in this hand. Does it come
Kenyon
out
has
now?
no. She's too good at folding, I think.
Yeah. Kenyon might not do that. There's the 4, though.
That's dangerous.
That is a pretty risky push. And the 9 now goes. There's another 8 drawn from Hane Mandre. Wisely not going to push that, though. Anko of the 7 so now picked up by
Come.
Kenyon.
Con.
Closed con called by Amy, going for that Rinshan chance. New Dora, 1 Mon. That's not going to change any of the scores in these hands. In fact, I don't see the... Well, I do see the 1 Mon discarded, one of them. 3 Mon picked up now.
Oh, so now her weight's completely dead unless someone
There you
deals
go.
in.
Unless someone decides to change their mind and push. But I don't see that happening. I think these players each have a lot of fortitude to not just stick to their guns on defense here. I'm going to see this work its way down to the end. Puts down the 1. Is the West... Well, the West looked a lot safer to me, but I suppose. Amy and Max will pick up the no 10 payments of $1,500 apiece. That'll move us to South 3.
Yeah, Kenyon did a pretty good job doing some Mawashi, but then towards the end after the con, I believe she just folded.
There you go. It is South 3 now. The Dora is 5 so. We have a sequence in Andre's hand right now. I just kind of ran that together to say Andre. But we also have some pairs as well that could turn into more. Amy right now has a sequence, few sequences, a couple building up, as well as a pair. Max right now has a Hatsu Anko and some sequences there as well. That could be a very quick hand, but needs maybe a little bit more points. And over on Yukitora's side of things, we have a couple pairs and a sequence already locked in. Actually,
She
3
could.
pairs. 4 pairs.
Wow. I wonder if she'll. Oh, I was gonna wonder if what happened if she drew that third non, and there she did. So I think she's going for a normal hand now.
I think this season the commentator's
Boom.
curse is just working a little bit ahead of us this time.
Yeah, I can't even get the words out of my mouth, and then it just happens.
We are Tenpai
リー
now,
チ
waiting on the 4 so in her case, and we have a Ricci call, another Tenpai for Amy, looking for the 7 Mon only.
Mm-hmm.
Closed weights on both of these hands finish out. Pair of 7s in Hane Mandre's hand, so I doubt we see those come out. Unless some serious restructurings going on, but at this stage of the game, I don't see him really trying to push, except, well, he is in last. He might try something here. That North's
Gee.
not going to
Yeah.
help.
And I was gonna point out before Nathaniel beat me to it that Amy has a Ricci Sanchoku. So if she draws a
Oh, yes.
7 mon is a guaranteed Sanchoku.
Yes. Intentionally crafted, of course. So, meanwhile, we have another Tenpai from Max after that call of the 3-4-5, looking for the 8-pin, 5-pin. There's the 5-pin drawn there. puts the 2 so down. That's what I thought he would do. He also has the
Sumo.
2 Manzu that could do something, but 8 pin is drawn. Hatsu, Nomi for Max. That'll send us into all last.
Wow, he's so close to 30K and very close, not that much further from Amy. So he could potentially hit second if he has a good hand.
Yep. And taking a look at the hands now in this all last situation, the Dora is 4 pin. We have, sadly, the dealer not having a good time of it right now. We're seeing edge weights, closed weights, 1 open weight there. Nothing really concrete yet, though. Let's see. Max now has a few pairs already out the gate, and some sequences in the Manzu already there as well. It's a hand that's progressed very well in 2 different ways, and the challenge is to figure out which way you go. Meanwhile,
Let's-
Kinyan,
1
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say he was Ishanten and now he's Tenpai. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
His way has been chosen. He can kind of pick both, I guess. Looking for the 3 so, 6 so. Both of them in Yukitora's hands sitting all kind of by themselves with this kind of early Ricci and seeing all those Sozu dropped. Those look really safe to me, except for the fact that
Mhm.
3 is close to the 4 that he dropped to call Ricci. So it is a tricky weight. We didn't talk about Andre's hand. Picking up an Anko of the 9 pin there with some pairs of the 5 pin and 9 Mon. And the Anko of the East as well, that I totally forgot about. It's not a relevant wind in his case.
Yeah, it looks like he's doing a little Mawashi. I guess he's not full folding. He can't. He can't afford to. He's last, but he's in a tough spot right now.
That's right. And so if you're in Amy's situation, you're above 30K, you're within a Mongon of the lead. Do you try to push this or just try to finish this out quietly?
I would personally just try and finish it quietly. I mean, I'm already.
There's the 3
Going to the lead.
so, and it deals in Ricci Pinfu with 1 Dora and 1 Urador to make this a Mongon. Max pulling it off right at the very end. That'll be the win by 300 points. Incredible finish just out of nowhere. We'll be going home now with 22 points. Kinyan going home with 12. Amy going with 2. And Hane Mandre sadly falling further back with a negative 37.
Unfortunate for Hanamandre. He had a very rough session. Uh, yeah, just unfortunate. Feels like he lost every duel, more or less.
That is true. Yeah, we saw that throughout both of these. The numbers have now been updated on your screen. Amy and Kinyan take first and second, very close to each other. Max just a little bit below par with negative 4.3. Andre with negative 113.0. But there's still plenty of time left in this season. I mean, that was just the first session. You can see there, they've only played 4 out of 24 games, so definitely has plenty of time to turn this around.
Yeah, it's only 1/6 of the game's done, and then if you imagine a pie, and then you cut into 6, and you eat the 1/6 of a pie, that's like nothing. There's still 5/6 of the pie there, so plenty of the
Yeah.
season to go.
Yeah, and these players are all hungry, and they're ready to take this to all the way to the end, I believe. And again, you'll be facing these people at some point in this season. So, what are your thoughts right now?
I am terrified. These players are very good. I'm just going to hope I have the flow when I'm up against these monsters and try not to get eaten alive.
Right. I imagine right now you're focusing on your matchup coming up. I didn't catch the schedule to see exactly who you're facing, but
It's Ming, as a Ming Code, the recently promoted from A2, B Chen, and Steve.
That'll be an interesting matchup there. And we'll hopefully be able to cover that. Of course, kind of the schedule on these things kind of comes together uh, in kind of a mix, depending on who's available and when these matches get scheduled. But
Hmm.
definitely hit that follow button to keep yourself informed of when we do go live with more Riichi Mahjong action here in the ARML. And yeah, just plenty more to go. It's quite an exciting start to this season. I'm excited. You sound excited. Chat sounds excited. That was game 1000, so everybody get hyped for that.
1,000. Woo!
Yeah, 1000 games in the ARML. We have seen thrills and spills, for sure. Some I was a part of, even, like right there at the table with them. Whew.
I think you're still the only one who's gone to Sankatsu back in the inaugural beta league.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Sankatsu, yeah. And that was a crazy way that happened, just like it was literally one conned into the other with the Rinshan tile coming out. I remember it was just kind of in a desperate situation, so I was just grabbing whatever I could, and boom, there it was. I'm not sure if I got any points from that. Well, I did, yeah, because I got it.
Yeah, yeah,
Sankatsu, that's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
You landed a nice mount gun.
That was. Ugh. But I believe that's it for the card tonight. As always, I'm Blaine Singletary, and of course, Jeremy as well here. And a big special thanks to Nathaniel as well for running the tech side of things and keeping us going through these games nice and smoothly tonight. Definitely, with the hectic way these games can go sometimes, definitely keeping it 100% with us on this broadcast.
Yep, he
Um,
nailed it.
absolutely. So, Jeremy, where can people find you if they want to follow you, keep up with what you're doing?
Oh, I'm on Twitter as Remy Fool, Remy Fool as in fool because I'm a fool, and also kind of sounds kind of similar to my last name, so that's why I chose it. And yeah, well, I tweet sometimes.
And I tweet sometimes too. You can find me at SB_Singletary. Put that in the chat for you a little bit as well to keep up with my own personal Mahjong journey and some random, usually video game related things that I happen to find that are interesting. Uh, might be even streaming some games of my own here on Twitch at some point. So if you want to drop me a follow right now on my Twitch page at Smawman, that would be like unheard of, but also awesome. So anyway, but I think that'll be it for us tonight for the ARML. For myself, Jeremy, and Nathaniel, have a good night.